This and all episodes of the podcast have been brought to you by our generous patrons over at Patreon, the DayZ podcast. If you're interested in finding out more about how you can support the show each week, then please click the link in the description down below to find out more information about Patreon, the DayZ podcast. Thank you for your support. And once again, as always, folks, a big shout out to our supporters on patreon.com, the DayZ podcast. Our $10 supporters, Scalespeeder Gaming and Dick Donovan. Thank you so much, guys. Your support is really appreciated. And a massive shout out to our $25 supporter, Jake Snow. I don't know why you do it, mate, but we can't thank you enough for your support for the DayZ podcast. All the best, folks, and enjoy the show. And welcome to episode 51 of the DayZ podcast, folks. Mark, how you doing, bud?
Great. Not too bad at all. How are you all doing?
Not too bad, mate. We are joined today by two guests for this episode. We have Agony X. How you doing, bud?
How's it going, guys? I'm doing well. Hope you guys are doing the same.
We are doing okay, mate. And someone we've had quite a few requests to have on the show, Mr. AmishZed. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Boydie? How's it going?
Pretty good, mate. Pretty good. That is a sweet setup you've got behind you, mate. Some
Thanks.
Nice nerd porn there, mate. Well, I'm very jealous of. I love that sort of shit myself, mate. That's fucking awesome.
Half of the real nerd stuff is over there out of shot, so that's where the action figures are.
Have you got a missus?
Yeah. She's let me have the third floor as a man cave, so
that's pretty awesome, mate. You've got a good woman there. You've got a good woman. That's pretty fucking awesome. What do you think of that setup there, Agony? Agony?
Oh, sorry. For some reason my push dog wasn't working. I'm actually using it just so that way I don't have to hear any background noise. But I've been looking into getting a lot of posters and wall scrolls myself lately, so I'm pretty envious, honestly. The Zelda poster specifically is setting it off.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Ocarina of Time fan.
Yeah, Ocarina is nice. I think Ocarina and that whole timeline up to Twilight Princess is my favorite.
Personally. Oh yeah.
Give me a sec.
Honestly, still mad there isn't a direct sequel to Twilight Princess.
Oh, nice. I hope we get a Switch port, honestly. But yeah, shit, I could make this a Zelda podcast if you guys want to go that route. So
there's some of my nerd stuff there. A lot of Fallout, nice Halo 3 helmet.
It's from the Halo 3 Collector's Edition, right?
Yes, it is. Yes. No, I don't use my headset mic Scalespeeder. I use Blue Yeti, or as my missus called it, a purple monkey. But yeah, no, I love the that sort of stuff as well. It's just nice to have. I've even got I've mentioned it a few times. I've even got the power armor helmet from Fallout 76, but that's that's kept away in a cupboard as a sign of shame for having fallen for the terrible marketing of Fallout 76.
Oh yeah.
Give me a second.
Honestly, had potential to be one of the best games survival-wise if they had just focused on making it a survival game instead of catering to Fallout fans thinking that it wasn't going to be a good Fallout game, as odd as that sounds.
There, how's my audio now, folks? Is that better? But yeah, no, definitely. It could have been epic, but there's a really good video. Who did it? Internet Historian, I think, on Fallout 76 and what went wrong with it.
Very good video.
I've heard it's come around though. A couple of my friends play it. I still haven't played it at all, but they said it's really come around when there was that free weekend a couple months ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mate, with the assets they have behind them, you would expect that they would be able to bring it around. But oh my god, just for a title like that to be released in the way it was it makes the release of Dead Matter look like a AAA operation. But yeah, Agony, tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
Honestly, just typical story of your usual DayZ streamer. Been playing DayZ since about 2016, around 5,000, 5,300 hours, something like that. So I've been playing since around 5.9 or 6.0 roughly.
Yep.
So I've seen the shit show we had before 6.3, and then the shit show that was 6.3 itself. But no, I think we're currently in a place that I actually enjoy gameplay wise. But server wise, I think we're getting to a split where the player base is kind of divided. So that's kind of it's kind of pushed me back a little bit in terms of playing the game and actually enjoying it how it used to be maybe a year or so ago. But I think one of the topics you guys wanted to cover today was official servers, which is kind of one of the reasons that I've taken a step back, because I kind of don't think official servers are popping that well lately. But I'll save that for later once we get to it. But yeah, just your typical DayZ streamer. I've been playing the game for a while. I used to be an admin for Karma Crew as well, so have seen things from an admin perspective, which was pretty perspective changing actually entirely.
Mate, getting involved in a server can really test your love for DayZ. Have you ever done it, Amish?
No, God no. I'm like, honestly, I'm not actually Amish. Is a question I get all the time, but like I might as well be when it comes to my knowledge of tech. I would have no idea where to begin with that.
Yeah. What about you, Mark? Have you been involved in a server?
Yeah, I launched my own one there for a little while, for a few weeks, preparing for ESIC, and it never released. And even just in the small, like 2-week window, just amount of times people complain about this and that, I gave up in the end. I just closed it. I wasn't bothered with it.
Wait, is ESIC not happening anymore? I thought they were still working on it.
It's delayed. They have IRL problems, I think.
Okay.
And stuff. So
that looks
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it looked like it could have been cool, or will be cool, hopefully.
Yeah, that honestly looked like, for me at least, I'm not pleased with any map other than Chernarus. It sounds pretty typical, I'm sure, but that looks like a true competitor to Chernarus, in my opinion.
Time will tell. Time will tell. We are spoiled
for
choice right now with the amount of maps that we've got coming up. I'm in talks with a guy who's making an Aussie-themed map, which has got obviously me quite excited. But something a bit different. I'm pretty sure even the non-Aussies will like it. Sorry, I'm just reading a comment in my chat. Brood Rover, I'm confused. That's not AmishZed. I've seen him on cam before, and he has these small beady eyes, a beak, wings, and teeth all the time.
I should have brought Cheddar up.
I actually love lurking in your stream. I'm a bird man myself. Sadly, my bird passed away about this time last year. He got a flu. He was a little Quaker parrot. But until you've had a bird, you don't know how awesome of a pet they can actually be. The intelligence and the love that those little feathered beasts, because my Quaker parrot used to love biting me. He had a wicked sense of humor, but oh my fucking God, they're amazing pets, aren't they?
Yeah, I wish mine had those qualities, love and intelligence. That'd be great if he had that. No, if I step out, I'll go grab him. I meant to. I forgot.
He's kind of a signature of your stream, though. It's really cool. You have your little Cheddar cam, and there's quite a few people. I see even Rhino has his dog cam, and you could use channel points to make him have to give his dog a treat or give him a scratch, and it just adds a little bit of personality or personal touch to your stream when you have your pet involved like that, Amish.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't ever intend for him to be a part of it. Like, my wife is the bird person. I was always a dog person. We had like 110-pound red-haired golden retriever growing up.
Yep.
But she had cockatiels, parakeets. She had all of them, and I just, I figured it was like it sounds like an easy pet to take care of. So I was fine with us getting one. And then just because I worked from home, even before the pandemic, before. Anything. So I was just always around. So he just ended up always on my shoulder. And I don't know, he just kind of became a part of the channel.
They kind of pick a person, birds. They're weird like that. Especially like with the Quaker parrots, they'll pick who they want to. And luckily for me, the bird was bought for me and it picked me. But once they pick a human, oh my God, they're attached to you. They're amazing.
Yeah, I feel like a Disney princess. When I walk downstairs, he just like flies to me. Yeah, it's like I'm Cinderella. It's great.
This man lives in a movie.
So how long have you been playing DayZ? Agony said that he played since 2016. What about yourself?
Shit, I'd have to like pull up I have like info on that on my channel, but I built my PC in 2012, I think. this was like a couple PCs ago, but like I built it just to play the mod. So I've been playing since the mod days, but I don't really recall playing the mod all that much. You know, by the time I built my PC and was getting into it, standalone came out, and I hopped on that train and never looked back really. But I did play the mod. I actually played Lingor, I think, more than Chernaris, back in the mod day. But yeah, so I've been playing it for that long. There's nothing like it, honestly. Like, I'm addicted. I can't stop.
It is very addicting, isn't it, Marks?
Yeah, it is. It's one of those games, even though you hate it, some days you'll still always go back to it.
Oh, yeah.
And Agony, you've been saying you might be taking a step back for a while, mate.
Yeah, I've actually been in the process of taking a step back for the past 2 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say I have somewhere around like 60 hours in the past 2 months, which is a drastic step down because I used to play the game probably like 60 hours a week, 40 hours a week at the minimum, because I've been fortunate enough to not have to have a job for the past couple of months. But yeah, I been taking a break from it, but it's still something that it's definitely not. I'm not done. There's no way that I could actually set the game down.
It is a
I'm
hard
pretty sure. Yeah,
step
I'm pretty
away
sure
from it.
anyone that has played this game who actually gets into it had no clue what they were getting into when they first put it. They probably thought it was like, oh yeah, I'll play it for 500, 600 hours. Meanwhile, they rack up 3,000 hours, 4,000 hours. It's ridiculous.
It is
I think
hard.
the only 4,500 now. It's
Yep.
insane.
Nice.
It is
I think
a
the
hard
only
one to
other
step away
game
from.
the only game that drains time like that is like RuneScape and WoW, honestly. So that's
RuneScape.
honestly pretty mentionable.
I haven't played either of those. I deliberately avoided WoW. I do have a bit of nerd in me. You can see a book there on my shelf, The Legend of Drizzt. For the who know who Drizzt Do'Urden is, it's a Dungeons and Dragons character, and I've always looked at WoW and gone, I'd probably really love that game, but yeah, I've heard some horror stories of how it can suck people in, and yeah, so I've deliberately stepped away from it because I can be quite addictive with my DayZ hours.
I've always said that just getting a WoW account will be my retirement. Just like get a WoW account, just sink into that until I just like pass away.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's
I
a
need.
nice, cozy little game, honestly.
But yeah, so what have you got coming up in the future, Amish?
Nothing. Just play the game, make videos. I don't know. I feel like I've got a lot of content for. Oh, by the way, Mark, man, congrats on 10K. That's awesome, dude.
Thank you.
Yes.
I saw that the other day.
GG. man.
But yeah, like honestly, just trying to make more videos. And anything. I actually just quit my job recently. Like 2-3 weeks ago was my last day. So I'm just trying to focus on making more videos and making better videos.
nice.
You know, the last one I just like tried to make it like I tried to use like Guardians of the Galaxy style music just to like use a ton of copywritten material and just figured if I'm going to use one, I might as well use a ton of it. So tried to make it like, I guess, the DayZ movie, but I know that was like a fad for a while. Everybody and their mother was making a DayZ movie. But yeah, I mean, honestly, just keep doing that stuff. And hopefully now that I have more time, be a better husband, because my wife's been doing way too much around the house since I've been juggling so many balls for so long, you know?
Either of you two going to be playing on the creator server?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I'm kind of like, I think it's interesting, but like, I don't really know what the benefits of streamers only. I'm more interested in the mod set that they've been putting together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's like kind of an interesting one. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you.
I put a tweet out yesterday that is it wrong of me to be excited at the thought of some people basically being exposed by Stimpy? Because there's a little part of me that is so looking forward to it. Because anyone who follows that guy's channel knows that some people had some very uncomfortable encounters on the Rust content creator server. And I can only just imagine what it's going to be like on the DayZ content creator server, Agony. He knows how to really push people's buttons. And there's a little part of me that just says, bring it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting seeing him collide with a lot of the bigger names in the DayZ scene if they're on the server.
Yeah, I'm mostly like Inclement Dab just does amazing work with mods and everything. Like it's so, I mean, he freaking worked with Sumrak, like that's insane. And he was working on like a gravity gun at one point. He was just like talking about it. It was like, yeah, a gravity gun could be cool. And I'm like, is that even possible? And then like later that day, he tweeted out like a prototype for it.
Yeah.
Which just blows my mind. That's like wizardry. But yeah, the mod set seems interesting. But one idea I actually had the other day is that like, I don't know if you guys do this or like anybody who like makes YouTube, but like whenever I'm watching like a movie and there's like a fight scene, I'm like, okay, how could I take this and try to like kind of translate that to a DayZ video? And the biggest problem is that you only have your perspective. In any like fight, you know that there's like a bad guy coming and you know the fight's coming and the tension builds. And like that could be a cool part of the content creator servers. If everybody was willing to share their footage, then like if I'm about to bump into Marks, you know, and like Marks could use my footage to show that there's an enemy coming, and then like show how it happened from both perspectives, not just from one. But I don't know. I haven't been in the Discord in a while, like, but that would be like one of the biggest benefits, in my opinion.
It is good, those rare occasions where two creators bump into each other and they both upload a video and you get to see both perspectives of it.
Yeah.
That is always, who knows? Yeah, that's going to be up to some of the creators in there, whether they're willing to let people, use their content. Some of them might just be streamers only, and a YouTuber might say, do you mind if I use the VOD to, show it from your perspective, what happens? And I hope that sort of cross-pollination or collaboration does occur on there.
Yeah, that'd be
helps
great.
Growth from both ends, to be honest. So
yeah,
everybody wins.
Yeah,
exactly. So, what a big week this was, folks, with DayZ releasing a new R word. Now, the reason I put the tweet out and Mark was like, "Oh my God, people are going to think you're talking about the other R word." And I went, "Yeah, it's a bit of a ongoing joke here that on the podcast that the last R word that DayZ released back in 2015, people still bring up against them. Oh, you didn't fucking helicopters by December 2015 or whatever it was, and all the rest of it. So we always just call it the R word because I've always said that the word roadmap is like PTSD triggering for the dev team. But there was some good info in there.
Oh, it was. I'm thrilled. I'm so psyched to see what they talked about, and they kept it vague. I think that was the takeaway from last time. They kept it like pretty vague,
They did.
no promises.
Well,
Weeks, not months.
but honestly, can you blame them?
No, I do not blame them at all.
Mark, you did a video on it, so I'll let you talk about it first up, mate. What was the highlights for you?
What was it? When they said they were going to be working on zombies and seeing, what was it? It was working on reactions for the surroundings and stuff like that. That got me thinking. I was like, are they going to try and implement like zombies breaking down doors, or is that just they're just going to kind of fix the AI?
Both, please.
I'd love both.
Yeah,
as well.
both.
And then the one I think everybody was hyped up, even in the comments of the video, was the new environment. Well, it was an environment, the new threat that they're going to add.
Yeah.
People are saying it's going to be radiation. I thought it was going to be like a new animal or something like that, but it could be any.
I think the wording of it, environmental threats or hazards, whatever it was, I think that implies that it's going to be radiation, especially since we already have the NBC suit. It doesn't make sense for the NBC mask to be a tier 4 item from a heli crash and it have no use other than dampening your noise, which I guess helps in PvP, like dampening your breathing, your coughing and all that. But I think radiation will end up coming this year, hopefully.
Yeah, that's my guess.
See, I did for a while think animal as well, but what other animals in that region can they add that they haven't already that are a threat to people? The only other one I can think of is maybe a tiger, but that's more Siberia and further east of where DayZ games are set. So what were you going to say there, Amish?
Well, I've always thought it'd be cool if they made the boars hostile. Like honestly, they could just take the behavior almost, not perfectly, but from the bear and just add it to the boars. You get too close, they attack. That would be pretty good too.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's got to be radiation. That's the only thing that makes sense. They've been talking about that forever too.
Yeah. Radiation, and I think I also saw something saying that they're going to make the heat buffer when you go into water more punishing. I think they said that was a change for Namalsk actually, but it would be going into the changes in the next patch in vanilla as well.
It's in the Namalsk right now. Yeah, you lose the heat buff pretty much instantly if you get wet. You know, it's like swimming. Like you got to be full health if you want to swim now. You got to be full health and just take the hit and then recover.
It's an interesting change because I think that's actually something that's been overlooked for a while in terms of when you get wet in the game.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But one of the controversial things in there, which I don't understand why it's controversial, was the wiping official servers every 3 to 4 months. That seemed to upset quite a lot of people who don't understand, from my perspective, the need to wipe a server every now and then. Like if you play community servers, most community servers have a good schedule. You know, every 3 or so months, they'll wipe or so, or sometimes when there's an update, they'll use that chance to wipe, and it upsets a couple of people, but the amount of people who were up in arms about wiping every 3 to 4 months kind of surprised me, Marks.
Yeah, there was some people that were just like, why would you do this? Screw Bohemia, I'm not playing this game anymore because of it. And I think a lot of the people that were upset about that were on the console side. It did seem like, they were saying like, I don't want my ones to be wiped. But like I had people come into my chat and were like, why would they do this? It's stupid. But then when you actually kind of explain it to them in a simple way, and then they kind of realize they're like, oh, okay, it's to do with loot and it's not to do with anything else. They kind of seem better, but I think people just overreact the instant they hear something bad. But it was only a minority few I saw, like in my video and stuff, but most people were kind of happy with it, actually.
I actually really like the differentiating more individual firearms. I'm really hoping for more civilian-style firearms. They're not so powerful military-style guns, but more variation of... I see you nodding your head there, Amish.
Yeah, we got plenty of military guns. Maybe an LMG. I was talking about that today with people. An LMG would be cool, something that's a little different. But it's like, do we really need an AK-105? Like, it's not Tarkov. We don't need just like a million different AK variants that essentially are the same thing. Honestly, I'd love to see like handguards, butt stocks. Like, I'd love to see those things have more of an impact, and even like weapons spawning without them. So you find an M4, but it's like it's the bare bones, and you just got a mag, and that's it, and you got to build it out. Like, I think that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, there isn't a lot of customization when it comes to attachments.
I mean, Woba has that tool though. I haven't really looked at it too much, but I think that there is like very, very slight nuance, like differences with the handguards and the butt stocks, but like, it's not noticeable. You don't notice. There's the CQB buttstock with the M4. Like, I've never noticed, like, oh, that's really good for close quarters. I've never noticed that, But I know he's got that tool that really does show, like, down to the decimal, like, how the difference in recoil and damage and all that.
I'm being asked in chat, Amish, why Batman is so superior to Spider-Man.
Oh, God. Batman is not superior to Spider-Man, but I do not want to get off the point. I could do this, but I do not want to ruin your podcast.
Batman just beats up mentally ill people, bro. Batman is not a superhero.
Agony, I love you. I love you, dude.
He's rich and has daddy issues and mommy issues.
Oh, shit. Boydie's on the other end of it. Yeah, I got Floater dude over there. Well, like, there and there. I got too many Spider-Man in here.
But I would definitely want to see more civilian style firearms. More stuff that you can get on the coast. A bit of differentiation. Maybe some different versions of 22 rifles as well. Not everyone needs to be running around with a one-shot Mosin or CR527 or stuff like that. Just starting off with some of the lower caliber stuff so that you work your way up and. But I like those high-end military weapons to be a bit rarer, Marks.
Yeah, it would be cool, but what would also be good, maybe instead of adding more stuff, if they tweaked the pistol ammo and stuff that's in the game at the moment.
Yeah.
Because if,
Yep.
like, for example, shotguns spawn on the coast and the CR527 sometimes do as well. And if you have a 1911 or an FNX 45, you're probably never going to win versus a shotgun, or so it just takes too much. They just don't do damage that well.
That's one thing that I actually miss about pre 6.3 is pistols were viable. You could get one tapped with a pistol to the chest even at certain times.
Yeah.
It would be uncon sometimes. Most of the times it would be actually, but they were still viable. Pretty much anything could one tap you at that point in the game. And that's something that I would like to see return out one day.
But a shotgun is king. But unless you've got the Saga, if you don't hit with you've got the double barrel, which if you set it to single shot, you're going to get 2 shots off. But the pistol gives you, the ability to fire a whole pile of shots rapidly because they're semi-auto, as opposed to the shotgun, which is generally a one shot. And if you screw that one shot, you're probably going to lose to the pistol. That said, it's the range of the pistol. The pistols drop off quite quickly. So that, if you're trying to shoot over, maybe 30 to 50 meters, you're in trouble when you've got a pistol.
Yeah. I'd like to see the Longhorn again.
Yes.
I just want the red 9 back.
Oh, I forgot about the red 9.
Mate,
And stripper
forgets about
clips
the rack as well. What about the rack?
Yeah.
Oh,
that
no,
was a
you
good
can
one.
keep that one.
I hardly ever picked up the rack, but I would pick it up if I didn't have anything else. But as soon as I found something else, even if like amphibia, that rack got chucked to the side.
Yup.
I will say though, the one thing about pistols that like, and I actually noticed this with the Sporter more, is that like they added that thing where you like lose your vision when you take shock damage.
Mm-hmm.
So like that could even be one way to help make pistols more viable. It's just like, if you're landing those shots, the guy with the shotgun, he can't even see where he's trying to fight back because he's just like getting that shock damage, even though it's not doing a whole hell of a lot of health damage. But because I mean, when they first added that, it was almost a little too much, and they might have overcorrected it. It's there, but it doesn't really negatively affect you all that much.
Yeah. What else excited you guys in the announcement?
I mean, damage system.
Stealth kills, was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's nice to see that mechanic actually being tweaked to actually be useful, because there is currently a stealth mechanic in the game. It just doesn't work, or at least there seems to be a stealth mechanic in the game.
No, there is. When you get that attack and it instead of like a loud like thud, you get like a that's how you know you got the stealth attack. I mean,
I'm glad I'm not the only one that notices that, because I was always confused whether that was actually the stealth or not, because really, there is no verification. It doesn't seem to actually do more or less than anything. So
because you can do a loud attack and it's not like the stealth, but it still can be a one-hit kill if you land it right.
Yeah.
But I think the stealth attack, like that's supposed to be viable with a knife. If you get that correctly, it'll still be a one-hit kill, where like an axe could be a one-hit kill no matter what if you land it right.
Yeah. I've always wanted, I know it's probably like engine limitations that prevent it from happening, but I've always wanted a more Walking Dead execution style, literally go up to it and put a knife through the temple. If you're from behind for stealth.
Yeah.
I feel melee with Zed should be just a tad more simple, honestly.
Yeah, I just, the zombie detection, just like anything around zombies that they can improve is just like, it's just got to be done. It's a zombie game. Like everybody's like, I want helicopters, make cars work. Like it's not a driving game. Like it's a zombie game. And like, I love it. I love it to death. The zombies are so freaking broken. It can drive you crazy. Last night I was at, I don't know what it's called, but it's down the hill from Sebjan Mountain on the Malsk. There's that little military base, and there's a guy shooting a shotgun in a barrack, and like 20 zombies are on him. And I'm crouch walking the whole way. I go in a barrack across the way, didn't close the door, didn't make a sound. And every single one of those zombies just turn around and come after me. And I'm like, the guy's shooting a shotgun. Why are they after me? But like, not to mention too, like you guys mentioned busting down doors. I mean, that would be a literal game changer. Like again, that guy, he fired a shotgun on a military base. He can just wait in that military barrack until the zombies de-aggro. But if he's got 20 zombies out there and they're knocking down that door, he's like making panic decisions, trying to figure out, do I have the ammo to fight my way out? Like, I wish they had that in the Trello so long ago, and if they added that, I would be so happy.
Really make
they
people
actually
consider
were to
when
add
they
that?
actually shoot and the consequences of shooting as well.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, those campers in Starry, you know, like it would be a game changer. They got to make the do the math, and be like, can I fight my way out if I have to?
Yeah.
You know.
If they were to actually add that, though, I would definitely want the ability to shoot down a door. Like if I have a shotgun, I want to be able to shoot the door down to get out quick. If that's the case, from another door.
Also, being able to jump out windows would be cool too. In that
Yeah.
case, in case that happened. But
which is funny because there are some windows you can, but it's bugged basically.
Yeah. I thought you could knock down. Oh, well, lock doors. You could break a lock door.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
break a lock.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally, just like
Literally
shoot the door off. the
evaporate it,
hinges. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how it would work. Like, obviously, the doors would have to have a health amount of health, and like one zombie should take 10 minutes to break in, but 20 could take 2. You know, they'd have to find the balance there. But like, I really think that that's like a must-have.
I was actually thinking about it, and when a door is locked, using the lockpick, you can bash that door open. A simple fix to that would be to, again, I say simple, but this could be quite complex, but to make it something that the infected start to interact with. And instead of the door just going a bit ajar when you bash it open, it actually opens fully. So, yeah, I don't know whether that's doable or not, but that would be fucking cool as if that happened. So that when doors are shut, you know, they could modify it so that you can, you know, the door, even if it's not locked, it can still have that same, yeah. Wooden doors, yes. Metal doors, maybe not. Metal doors, yeah, I can understand that. A murder. But it's something definitely needs to happen because it's just kind of, like you said, that situation you were in, that would have fucking sucked. Did you end up dying?
Well, yeah, it was. I was so high stress playing the Malls the past 2 days. I've like never been more engaged in the game in my life, which is great. But it's also like taxing. When my character dies, I'm like almost relieved. I was like, okay, I can breathe now. But yeah, I was there. I was a cannibal. It was a long life. I was a cannibal, so like I couldn't snipe. My character was twitching too much, and we could actually talk about that. I have ideas for how to improve the cannibalism system too. But there was a guy in there in the barrack. They all aggroed on me. I managed to kill all of them, and I was just like so frustrated, and like my head was kind of out of it at that point. I wasn't playing it smart anymore. That I pushed him. He knocked me out with a Saiga. I have no idea how I lived. Flashing red blood, flashing red health. He bandaged me up, tied me up, and he seemed friendly. He was like, "Oh, let's team up," and I'm like, "Okay." And I think somebody else threw a grenade, and we just both died, and I called it there. But never made it to A3 either. I still don't know what's up with A3, so I'm trying to avoid spoilers.
We're not talking about that. We're going to be talking about the moles, but I'm the same, mate. I've hardly even watched the DayZ stream. Any videos that have got Namolsk in the title, I'm just not watching them because I really want to find out about it in game, talking to someone if they know anything about it, and then get to go explore it myself. I want to save that for the first time, yeah, because I kind of ruined A1 and A2 by watching streamers. Which is, you know, kind of sacrilegious to say to streamers, you know, no, just come watch us, enjoy it with me. But no, I want to actually experience it myself. Agony.
I heard they got Half-Life 3 in there.
A little bit.
Now we've got something to talk about from last week's episode, where we were talking, and you did a highlight video, Marks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Another one.
So we were talking about DayZ's gunplay and health system needs to be fixed ASAP, guys. And Mark's is actually going to be doing highlight video from every episode of the podcast and putting it up. So it's a shorter format for people to get a sample of what the podcast is like, and also give their input on something. And you know, the exposure it got was awesome, Marks. For almost 5,000 views.
Yeah, it done really well. Done a lot better than I expected, actually. So, yeah, a lot of people seem to agree. There wasn't that many kind of disagreements, which I was kind of surprised about. A lot of people agreed, and they were like, "Thank God somebody else noticed this, and it wasn't just me that noticed it." Yeah, it was good to see people's opinions on it. It's always been something that I've thought needed to be fixed from day one. But yeah, and it seems like they're going to be hopefully fixing it now soon with the roadmap. So.
How have you found PvP and the health system to be, Agni?
It has its flaws, but there are definitely a lot of ways that it has prevailed since pre 6.3. I think a lot of people forget how janky and clunky pre 6.3 was, so that kind of balances out the gunplay, because I do prefer the gunplay from pre 6.3. It felt much less arcadey. I do believe you could even wasn't bullet drop lesser at that time? I know they changed bullet drop either more or less between 6.2 or 6.3. I could be wrong on that one, but like I was saying earlier, pistols, you can't really one tap with a pistol now unless you get a headshot, and even then it's uncon most of the time. SKSs could one tap you to the chest most of the time. Now it's 2 shots. So I feel things were a little more lethal before 6.3, but nowadays PvP has definitely increased. One simple thing is you can hold your breath. You couldn't do that before, so that's one thing that changes everything.
One thing that kind of skewed it, and Foxy said it if you watched chat from the video last week, where Foxy actually said he was really meaning more about the health system, Amish, and just how more often than not, like when you said you got unconned by a Sega, I was like, damn, you must have been quite excited to only be unconned. And then that whole, is he going to finish me off? What's he going to do? And he chose to bandage you and probably tied you up as well, I'm guessing.
Yeah, duct tape, yeah.
Yep. It just allows for more interaction like that, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, and that's great. I know we got Zero coming up later as a topic, but they've definitely done some good stuff in that regard as like a temporary measure as a mod. But yeah, it's like that character was just a lucky guy, because I was on a hill and I bumped into a dude and he shot me twice with a Mosin and I didn't die somehow. It must have been like arm shots or something. I just got lucky with a VSS. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that character, he must have had some sort of genetic abnormality. He was special. But yeah, I like overall, I think I see so many people saying like 0.62 was better, and and just as an example, on top of my head, like Deadly Slob, like he hasn't come back really since 0.63 became a thing. He's like done with it, and he's on to Tarkov, and good for him. He's done great. He's come back and checked patches every now and again, but like so many people think, I just think it's like a rose tinted glasses kind of situation. Like there were definitely things that were better. Having hitboxes of like a heart and a spine and things like that were better. But I think like inertia.
Remember how long it took to swap weapons?
Oh, I mean, I miss the sounds. I do miss the sounds of the clanking.
For me, it's more about the health system. The actual gunplay, like last week they talked about when weapons go up, where collision and all the rest of it. But they're forgetting why they had to implement that, because people were wall banging. People were putting their guns through walls and shooting through objects that they shouldn't be able to shoot through. So yes, it kind of sucks, especially when you get an infected come at you and your weapon goes up. But for me, what they need to do is fix the broken melee with rifles.
I don't think it should be tied to your stamina bar. I think it should be like EFT, where you have your own stamina for melee or your own stamina for arms. It's tied to holding your breath, possibly, maybe. But
that'd be cool.
Pretty much just copy Tarkov shit at that point, because that is the most frustrating thing in PvP is when someone comes straight up to you, your barrel's touching them, and you can't melee because you've been running the whole time.
Yeah.
Or because you have a plate and you can't run.
Yes. Yeah, even wearing all that, your melee stamina should be not affected by it. If you've been sprinting and from deer.
Sorry, I'm just saying hi to deer.
But if you've been sprinting, from first-hand experience, having done bayonet courses and stuff in the army, you are really slow towards the end of it when you're absolutely knackered, when you've been running and you're wearing full military gear and all the rest of it. But you can still manage to do the basic, butt stroke, smash, slash.
Especially if it's a life or death situation.
Yes.
At that point, you're in fight or flight. So,
and the current system just doesn't reflect that. But there are good aspects to post 0.63 PvP, but it's the health system that really needs a rework, in my eyes. One thing a lot of people did point out in the comments of the video, though, is that last week Thor kept on referencing Escape from Tarkov, but DayZ's not Escape from Tarkov, and that's what we need to remember. DayZ's more brutal. DayZ's more, they're not the same game. And the fact that some people who are Escape from Tarkov fans come to DayZ and go, "What is this PvP system?" Yeah. Most people who play DayZ a lot are, in general, fairly happy with the PvP system, Agony.
I mean, at right now, I think it's in its best. It's in the best state. The only thing that I would say is I would like to see the damage system and gunplay from 6.2, just without any of the mechanics from the engine. Like none of the jankiness. Mainly just the damage system prior. But a steady balance in between current DayZ and 6.2, I would say, would be okay with damage, but I could be wrong. It could completely backfire. I think the main reason that things could one tap prior to 6.3 was the variability and the inconsistency of the damage system at that point, honestly. So that could be a massive factor.
And I did like this comment here, Marks. People need to remember that first and foremost, DayZ is a survival game. Yes, some servers have changed it to where it's just PvP, traders and all the rest of it. But the core game is a survival game with shooting in it.
Yeah, it is. It is, and that's it. But I think nowadays 90% of the people, well, maybe not 90, but 70% of the people who buy this game for PvP are not so much for the survival.
I would agree.
Maybe the percentage isn't that high, but I don't think as many people are buying it for the survival aspects and then more buying it for the PvP because they see, their favorite YouTuber or their favorite streamer put up a PvP video and they're like, that looks cool, so I'm going to go and play that. And then when they come onto it and realize then that the PvP system is, I wouldn't call it bad, it's maybe just a little bit, it needs to be polished. Then they're like, the only thing I would like to see fixed the PvP system is just get rid of the ADS bug. I don't want to have to sometimes.
Yeah.
I have to left click or right click 5 times sometimes to just be able to ADS. I just wanted to ADS and just once.
That actually killed me the other day, and it was so infuriating.
Yep. To backtrack a little bit though, I think the division between the whole survival and then PvP crowd, I think there's a bit of like a veil of illusion there where people think that there's a split. Over time, like if you've played from, again, pre-6.3 to now, you've kind of seen how the gameplay has changed. People were a little more open to adventures and friendly back then, but there would still be PvP, still be a lot of clusterfucks. But nowadays, there's that division between survival and PvP, but a lot of people have forgotten that PvP is part of the survival aspect. That like literally is the most intense part of the game, is coming across somebody. You almost die, you kill them. What did you do? You survived at that point. That just makes all of the times you went through the starvation to get it. What if you were starving when you fought the guy and you got the food off of him and that's how you saved your character? That's how you didn't starve to death. I think people have looked a little bit too much into PvP and survival as black and white. And they've kind of diverged from being the same thing at this point. And I would like to see people look at it more as the same thing again, because I don't think there's any reason to shy away from PvP or any reason to shy away from, say, fishing or hunting, trying to get animals. I think it's all the same thing. At the end of the day, that the rush that happens from that type of stuff is why we all play anyway, I would say. So
well, and that's like advice I try to give new players is like, if you change what you consider a win, I think that's kind of the problem. It's like everybody thinks it's like a kill is a win and that's the only win in DayZ, but it's not. Like you said, Agony, it's like anytime that your character's about to die and you get out of that situation, that's a win. Like if you're starving and you catch a fish, that's a win. If you see a group of 5 players and you're like, well, they're going to kill me, and you avoid detection, like that's a win, Like surviving is the win, and the kills are just, I mean, let's be honest, they're exciting. I mean, we probably wouldn't play DayZ if there was no PvP, but like, like you said, cherry on top. You need
that constant threat of death. And Vigilante Gamer has left a couple of comments on some videos I did a while back, and it was basically, fucking legend, isn't he?
Absolutely.
But he basically said, "Boy, do you survive? That's all that matters. That's a win." You may not have survived the most gracefully, but keeping your character alive, and that's why I like the servers where it's not such a bad thing that when you die, it's a bad thing that when you die, there's really nothing. You can just run straight back to the trader and you've got 10 million rubles in the bank and buy the exact same loadout and then get back into it. I like the ones where you value your character's life, because if you die, you lose almost everything.
Yeah, it changes the meta. It changes how you think, how you do things. You would, on a trader server, you'll see so many more rushy people that are just sending it, doing whatever they want because they know that, I got however many rubles, I can go back and buy it, just like you said. On a normal server, you'll see somebody in a standout for 2 hours waiting for somebody to move out of a building, like wondering, did they log? Are they still in there? Changes the entire mindset.
We've got some absolute
It's like
psychos
Call of
in my
Duty.
chat talking about taking hostages is better than killing, then torturing hostages is better than taking hostages. I love it though. What were you going to say, Amish?
Well, I was gonna say, like, when you're playing on those servers where you're literally like you're just running back to the ATM, or I don't even know how those ATM servers work. I guess you keep money even in between lives, and you're just trying to farm money so you can buy guns
Pretty
again.
much.
But, like,
I guess you deposit it.
It's Call of Duty with extra steps. Like, you're just running to a trader. Like, I just don't really get that. But again, there's no wrong way to play DayZ. If you want to play that way, that's fine. I would rather play Call of Duty at that point, or V++. You know,
At that point, it does raise the question: why not just play Arma?
yeah, well, yeah.
That's one thing that I've never understood.
Does Arma have less players than DayZ? Is it like less popular? I mean,
I
would have never heard of it
does.
if it weren't for DayZ.
At this point, yeah.
Okay.
We'll see once the what is it? What do they call it? The unannounced or yet to be announced tactical shooter in development by Bohemia Interactive gets released. I imagine Arma 4 will get a lot of interest.
Curious, it's kind of random, but did you guys ever see the supposed DayZ 2 leaks?
Yeah, we
Like
talked
a
about
month or
it
two
also.
ago.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think that was actually like a new game in development, or do you think those were just screenshots from Vigor?
No, from memory, they talked about it, but that's all that ever happened. I think that's what Scotty actually said on the show, that, yeah, it was talked about, but the decision was made to keep on progressing with DayZ.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that. That's interesting.
Amish
No,
capturing
we got
that
that
guy.
DayZ killer.
Amish capturing that guy and taking his blood was gold.
Oh yeah, I did that.
But you're giving people memories, and that's one of the things that I try to point out to people, that in the end, you forget most times you die. You forget most kills you make, unless it's a truly epic squad wipe or shot like that. But you never forget those memorable interactions. They stick with you forever. And if you're not only getting a memory for yourself, but you're giving someone else a memory. And yes, if you're a complete and utter prick and you just like to ruin people's fun time, you do you. You do you, boo, but you'll probably turn someone away from the game, and there's less people playing it. But if you give people something to remember, and it doesn't always need to be a positive, friendly interaction. Even those, one of my favourite YouTubers is Danny Boy. His psychopath videos where he kills people are fucking next level. Those people will never forget that they were betrayed by Danny Boy. And yes, they're probably going to rage a bit, but afterwards they're just going to sit there and think, that's the beauty of DayZ. The things that can happen in this game, it's not just about PvP and, yes, you are dead screen. There's more to the game, Marks.
Yeah, like
yeah,
feeding
100%.
people window cleaner.
Yeah.
Which they need to re-add, by the way.
Yeah. No disinfectants in the game.
No, it's in the game, but I don't think you can feed it to people.
Yeah, you can.
You spritz them, you spray them.
Yeah, I've seen bloody, what's his name? ArchieStormcloud do it.
In what patch?
Recently, like
Really?
about a year or so ago.
Last time I tried it, all I did was just spray. I have to check into it again.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't
Oh
tried
yeah,
it.
you might actually be right. Let me now that
I
I've
try,
thought
I
about it.
try it all the time. I was about to say that's one of my things. I just go up to people and spray them with it since it's harmless.
You know what I
Disinfect it.
miss? I miss when you couldn't tell what was in a bottle by just
Yes.
hovering your mouse over it.
Yeah,
'Cause
same.
now, like I used to always have a canteen of gasoline on my person just in case like somebody killed me. Hopefully they drank it and they got poisoned. But now it's like they just look at it and like, oh, it's gasoline. They know.
Das is asking in chat, how do you feel about people asking you to kill them when you just spawn in? Look, I generally run with the spawn I get no matter what, but and that's what I wish more people did. But I will, if someone asks me to kill them so they can get a better spawn, I'll do it. If they're playing DayZ their way, it's not something I would do, but yeah, I'll knock them out and take their rag and apple if they've got one.
Yeah, when they eat their apple and then F11, that's just inconsiderate.
It is. That is just highly, highly inconsiderate.
How I see it is they're gonna find a way to kill themselves anyway. Might as well help them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the devs need to like. I mean, they know what they're doing, I think, but like, I just don't get why they keep trying to change it so that you can't. I'm not really for like choosing your spawn because I also like to just take the spawn I can get, but like, no matter, they just keep trying to make it so you can't F11 to get a different spawn, and it has never worked.
No.
They spawn you in with rags and a flare, they and you F11 by setting a fire. They let you drown yourself for a while. They stop doing that. And at the end of the day, like they can never stop zombies or height from killing you, so people always do it. And it's just like, I think that's like a losing battle at this point.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
fair, though, that does kind of have a purpose in terms of creating a buffer so that way people can't meta and run straight back to their body in
That's true.
critical situations. So I actually do enjoy the fact that they haven't made it necessarily easy to respawn that fast because there does need to be a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, I always thought like a general selection, like northeast, southeast, south, like and like that's a wide range. Not enough that you can get right back to your body, but like enough that like you're like, okay, I can you can kind of at least generally do it. But again, or also have a random option, obviously too. But
Yeah,
unless I've done the same Electro to Mogalevka to Starry run 3 times in a row, and I get another Electro spawn, I'm personally just taking whatever spawn I get and going in a new direction, most of the time.
Yep. But it was a good discussion. Yeah, a lot came from that. Some good suggestions there, and yeah, people do need to remember DayZ's not Escape from Tarkov, and if you prefer Escape from Tarkov's gunplay, great. DayZ is different though in that one we've got VoIP and we're a bit more interaction focused and a survival game as well, with the survival elements being more heavily pushed. So, yeah. Could you always respawn while uncon? I believe you can. Once you go uncon, you can choose to reset your character.
Yeah.
I think that was always the case.
Yep. Up until the moment you're tied up. I think you can even still do it when you're tied up. Not too sure.
No, I don't think you can when you're tied up. The only way you could kill yourself by logging out. But
I
that's
see.
basically a combat log on most community servers, so that would,
Yep.
yeah. You just better hope that the server didn't restart while you were tied up because you were fucked if it did. Okay, now something we need to talk about that came up last week. This is a bit of a touchy one. Mod access to servers. So last week, I don't know whether you guys got to watch the show, but we were talking about Choco POS and his fake day one number 5 server. And it was revealed during the discussion when Inclement Dab came in that some stuff was done to their server because of access that was allowed to the server by one of the mods of Daone. And they got in and they basically terrorized everyone on the server. Killed people, spawned bears and stuff like that. And as much as I don't like what they were doing, that sort of access to servers from mods really scares me, Amish.
Yeah, I mean, well, I had like on V++, which is a totally different server. A mod doing that on that server is much different than them doing it on day one or whatever. But man, the V++ guy spawned like 9 bears on me once. It was hilarious. But again, very different circumstances. But wait, what were they doing exactly? They were spawning bears on people on
Spawning bears,
like a
teleporting
regular...
people, and just players who were on the day one number 5 server through a backdoor to the server?
I mean, that's been an issue forever, you know, like that's why like you got to trust the admin team at the end of the day. And I don't really want to like throw shade at anybody or any particular server, but we know that there have been servers that have had that issue, you know, where somebody was playing the game and had a map open or had like, you know, able to respawn their health and all that, you know. It's just about like trusting the server owners, you know. That's why like I have
this isn't the thing is this isn't the server owners. This is developers of mods. So they might not even be on the server admin team. This is a modder going in and messing with the server from access that they have from the mod that is installed on that server.
Oh, that's just fucked. I mean, like if you own a server and some dude's like messing around with it behind your back, like I wouldn't be using that mod anymore, you know. But yeah, sorry, I didn't realize that was what I was going down a different road.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to clarify it, Agony, because it's whilst I don't understand or don't agree with what he was doing, that sort of access is a bit scary at the same time.
When did this start happening exactly?
Well, we've talked about this on the show in the past, that a lot of these mods that are out there allow backdoor access, as Scale Speed is called.
Oh yeah,
to
that's been going on for a while, but I meant with day one in specific.
Last few weeks, as I understand.
Okay. I was going to say, because months ago I came across a situation where I was either playing against a hacker or a badman, and I couldn't tell what it was. They were not flinching when I was shooting them multiple shots with a Mosin, and it's like that put me off from playing for a long time. So that makes me wonder if maybe that's what that was.
Sorry, Aiden wants to know whether you wipe sitting down or standing up.
Both.
Aggie, you do both. That's fascinating.
You got to make sure you get every inch, bro.
Yeah, I guess that's how you get every nook and cranny. That's important, and that's good. Versatile. I like it.
But back to the point, Das is saying in there it's retaliation for copying someone's stuff. But I get that. But you know, I'll counter that with, from what I understand, they have actually banned access to their mods. That to me is a much more reasonable way of handling it than going in and, you know, because like as I said last week, I've actually played on day one number 5 thinking it was an official day one server. And that would frustrate me, you know, having someone just start spawning bears on me or teleporting me out into the middle of the ocean or something like that. I'd be like, what the hell is going on? You know, I didn't do nothing wrong. I'm just on there playing. And someone comes in and starts messing with the server. Like, I understand why they did it, but I just don't agree with the methodology they used, Marks.
Yeah, I don't know why they do it either. It's annoying. If you're going to build your own community, use your own server name and stuff. Stop copying somebody else's.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Day one experience.
But does that warrant
Anything,
warrant Mark someone going in and backdooring their server and then fucking with everyone on the server?
Messing with everybody in the server, probably not. I mean, I don't mind if they're, you know, banning them from using their mods or whatever. I don't care about that. But if you're kind of going in and ruining people's playing experience if they don't know it's a fake server, that's might be a bit too far. Just leave it at, you know, blacklist them from your mods or whatever. But just
spread the word. Get them banned from access to, you know, nearly everyone's mods. They can do that, I believe, on Steam. And make it so that server pretty much is left with only access to, you know, the shitty mods, and basically has to be more vanilla. They don't get access to the cool CF tools and stuff like that. That I'm totally happy with. But yeah, to go in and do it that way, Daone, you're a very naughty man. I spoke with him about it, and he said, yeah, he's going to remove that part of the thing, but he's sorry, not sorry about what he did. And I can see the funny side of it. Like, I'm not, you know, standing on my soapbox and saying it wasn't funny. I'd love to have seen it, because it would have been fucking hilarious, all these bears getting spawned. And, you know, I laughed at Stimpy's video where he abused admin tools, even though I didn't agree with it. I still have a sense of humour, and I'm going to laugh at something if it's funny, and it sounds like it was fucking hilarious. But I just don't think it's a good look. And as someone said, surely that's got to be against terms of service on Steam or something like that.
It has to be. It has to be. Just, especially like that's just going to make people maybe dislike community servers in a way. Players that didn't know it was a fake day one server, they're going to go off and maybe not play the game again, or they'll go back to official, or, it's just, it was a shitty thing to do.
To be fair, it does provide a bad look on that, because if y'all didn't bring it up until right now, since I don't play day one in general, I didn't realize that was a fake day one server. I thought that was the 5th day one.
Yeah,
I didn't realize until last week either.
Mm-hmm.
I knew about the fake servers. I didn't know anything about like the backdoor getting in through the mod thing. Like, I'm still a little confused about that, but like I said, I'm never going to understand the tech stuff.
Mate, my mind has grown a lot. As Foxy's saying in chat, it's not all mods that can do this. It's just more the admin tool mods that allow backdoor access. So
yep.
So it's kind of scary, but it served a purpose. Aiden's sad that Cheddar isn't here, mate. The bird's more popular than you.
Oh, he definitely is. I could go grab him in a minute.
Okay.
I think I'll do that. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, go for it. So we've already covered the next topic, which was regular wipes of official servers, the fallout from players, a lot of them being upset. So the next tweet, or the next topic was Happy Bomb's Zero server. Man, he is doing an amazing fucking job with these servers.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It's an extremely underrated server, and I think more people should give it a chance to play on it.
Yeah.
Not throwing any shade towards day one at all whatsoever, but take a break and play that server, give it a try, and you'll probably see that you actually like what's going on, especially if you're one of the people that are saying you want more uncons, because the health system on there is, not the health system, but the armor system is pretty favorable for stuff like that.
Yes.
Sorry, I just saw Sprint King's comment. If my wife was a mod, she would not grant backdoor access. Oh my god, that's hilarious. And no, Boom, it wasn't a day one admin messing with it. It was a mod creator who messed with the server. But yeah, it seems like now about once a month or so we're talking about the Zero servers, and just Happy has really put a lot into these servers, and it's
The thing that's great with that is all the things that he's actually putting into the servers is majority coming from feedback from the player base.
Mm-hmm.
So, or at least at one point it was, because there's some times where the population just dipped down, unfortunately. But it's one of the few servers that will actually listen to player feedback and apply it damn near instantaneously. I remember watching one of Taupe's streams for the first time for that server, and I had commented on it because he was complaining about the lag at the time. It could have been his connection, could have been the server, and he had commented on the armor, and I had commented like, yeah, I don't think I would ever play the server because that's kind of off-putting. Literally that same day, after 2 other people made the comment, Happy Bombs changed the damage system on the armor. I have never seen feedback taken that fast and actually applied to the game. So that was pretty impressive.
I liked the using jerry cans and gas canisters as explosives. I thought that was fucking awesome. And hello there, Cheddar.
He doesn't talk. But I love that you wanted to talk about Happy Bombs' servers. Those servers deserve so much more love than they get on a regular basis. You know, like the Deer Isle server does really well, but like Cherno and the Malls should do better than they do, honestly.
Yeah. I've really been wanting the Chernaris server to flourish for a bit. Because that's really what we need right now is a good Chernaris, in my opinion.
We do. And that was something I saw your chat, Boydie, mention it, but like the player base does kind of feel diluted right now. It's like there's like 2 Cherno servers that you can play on that aren't like uber modded, you know, no stamina, all that stuff, you know.
Yep. And personally, like I said earlier, other maps don't cut it. Namalsk is cool, but I'm not crazy about it. Livonia, I can't stand. So I just stick with Chernaris.
Yeah.
So
I love Livonia. It's fucking awesome map in my eyes, but I understand why other people don't. But it's like we said, the Zero servers, they do need a lot more love because he's really working hard and putting in some amazing stuff into his service.
all it takes is a few more bigger streamers putting Zero Chernaris in their title like they do with other servers.
Mm-hmm.
All it takes is that for a couple weeks, get more people going, it'll flourish.
Yep.
Yeah, the Dira one's great, and the Cherno one. Did you guys talk about the damage system with the uncon stuff?
Yeah, we've talked about that in the past, but we'll cover it again. Go for it.
I love that because I've had such insane firefights on those servers where you're just like two people are lighting each other up. You're both unconscious. You don't know if they're up or down, and they're just the tension of that has really gone well. And to be honest, like they've made some changes to it. I suggested once that they add like an armor repair kit similar to a weapon repair kit, and that would be the only way to patch up, at least quickly. The only way to quickly patch up plate carriers and press vests, because and I mean, I do it when I do Death Squad on that server, which is like always a riot. It's so much fun. And you just carry a leather sewing kit and plate carrier, and you just you get shot, you hopefully survive, you patch it up, and you just do it again, which leads to a lot of fun encounters. But it's like being able to get it back up to worn in like 2 seconds with a leather kit seems a little over the top. I think like a rarer armor repair kit could really add something to that. They talked about it. I don't know if they did it though.
That would be just
the ability to find new plates. You have to go get the door for 1 second. Sorry, guys.
And make those rare, like you were saying. Instead of you being able to use a leather repair kit to patch up a ballistic plate, basically, having an item that you can insert into it, the actual plate gets damaged. Maybe that's something for Happy Bombs to consider getting a mod of for his server.
Yeah, he's got a good team. Those are great servers.
Yeah. I've never heard a single bad thing about the Zero servers.
Everything that Happy does is just like the man just puts so much effort into it, trying to make everything perfect. Like if you watch his stream, like his starting soon and like his ending stream, he's got like a camera up here over his shoulder, and like the True Colors events. I mean, they're just next level. I miss those. I think he's busy with the Zero servers, and great, he's doing a great job with them, but it's like everything he does is just like next level of trying to be perfection,
Well, he said when he was on the show that he's involved in film or TV or something along those lines before.
The game industry.
The game, you can really see the attention to detail he puts into his setup in the show.
Sorry, what are we talking about here?
Just Happy Bomb's level of production that he puts into everything.
Yes.
He does a
he really does put his effort into it. He goes all out.
He does. It's good to see. Namalsk update. So, spoiler free. I've been hearing a lot of people saying that they're kind of over Namalsk. And I kind of avoided it for my own personal reason, but did you guys see much more attention to Namalsk of late because of the A3 update?
I didn't see as much hype around it. I played it, but I wasn't really hyped, but I didn't even go to Athena 3 or anything like that yet. I don't know, it just didn't catch my attention that much. I saw the new EVR storms and stuff, and they were cool the way they've updated them and stuff, but maybe in a little while I'll venture it a bit more.
Yeah, it looks great, but I haven't played for the past couple months. I haven't even looked into it. I would like to actually play just to see A3, but I can't see that suddenly igniting a spark for me being addicted to the map out of nowhere.
See, I don't get I personally don't get the people getting over the Namalsk thing. Being more of a survivalist, I fucking love it, Amish. it's almost the perfect blend of DayZ for me. You know, that you can still have the PvP and all that sort of interaction because it's such a close quarters map, but there's still a forced survival aspect to the game.
Yeah, I mean, Namalsk, like, I mean, and you do get this on all servers, but like, I find that Namalsk is the one map where like I really am focusing on PvE, just surviving, and then the combat comes secondary. Where, you know, again, like we talked about it earlier, like anything can be a win, but I find myself like on Cherno, you know, once I get a decent gun, like I'm looking for somebody to interact with, whether it's bandit or otherwise. But like Namalsk, it's just like it is next level, and right now it's so hard, and it's I don't think it's like in a bad way either. It's like it's just is very difficult to get down south now. So when you do, like, you really value your life. I mean, when I was playing today, unfortunately I starved to death, but like I spotted 2 players and I had a sporter, and I was like, I cannot engage these guys. You know, I can't risk them being bandits; they could absolutely destroy me, and I can't kill them with a sporter, so I just avoided them, you know. Where on Cherno, I probably would have been more like, whatever, let's see if we can get a 2 sporter kills and do rags to riches, you know. But yeah, I haven't made it to A3 yet. I had so much fun. The first day on the Mollusk, I made it to A2 and got to explore that. And I have not had that level of luck with A3 so far. It's been really, it's like slamming my head against a wall. It's so difficult, but I'm excited. It'll be rewarding once I finally make it there. I hope I do, but
okay,
I don't know.
What is it with you and ladders? I've seen quite a few comments about ladders.
I wish I actually wanted to like gather some clips in case like some stuff coming up. So I died twice yesterday was it yesterday? No, it was Thursday. I literally at the hospital on the mosque, I was climbing a ladder, one of the cranes, and I was holding Alt to look at like a deagle that was on top of it. But I was holding Alt and looking to the right as I was getting the animation to climb up. So my character just spins around and then just falls right to his death. 4 hours later, I go back and I'm climbing a different ladder, and people are going, "Why don't you climb that crane?" I go, "Climb that crane? I would never do that. I would never climb that crane and then fall." Turning my head, looking at the crane, do the exact same thing, and fell off of a hospital. So two of the deaths yesterday were self-inflicted, but yeah, that was rough. Today I was a little luckier, but luckier that I didn't self-inflict any deaths like that. You know,
I'm actually myself, Mark's. Excited to see some people are taking the Namalsk survival mod and incorporating it with Winter Churnerus.
Yeah, I've seen that. People are. I heard when it first released, people were doing that with Winter Churnerus, getting the snow and make snowballs and stuff, and it makes it more difficult. It'll be cool to see. I haven't played a Winter Churnerus map that has the Namalsk features, but hopefully this winter I'll see it. It should be kind of cool, actually.
I'd actually love to see Sumrak do that. Agony is just create a Winter Churnerus survival mod so that it just easily adapts to those people who've got the Winter Churnerus mod, and they can just add the Churnerus survival, which has all the aspects that make them all so unique.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't mind seeing a little more prominence to Winter Churnerus, maybe throughout the year, because again, if Churnerus is the main map you play, you kind of want something to change it up here or there, and I don't want it to be like in winter where it's like you're forced to only play Winter Churnerus and you can't play normal Churnerus. So to be able to have the option between the two constantly throughout the year would be pretty nice. Whether or not people will play it or not, that's different.
Well, they did kind of hint at something with seasons in the roadmap that they've announced, so fingers crossed we might get to see that in the future, Amish.
Well, they have. I mean, I think that right now they have seasons, but there's no visual season.
Yeah.
But like, if you set your server up and you set it to December, it's freaking cold. But then once it's September, it should be warmer. But we've only experienced that from like, I want to say that was a 1.10 thing. So like, we've only seen it in terms of, you know, in the winter. So, because like you mentioned that Australian map, that would be amazing. I would love a desert map that has like different challenges in that. You can't wear a pea coat because you'll overheat. You get dehydrated quicker. Maybe at night it gets like devastatingly cold in the desert. Like, I would love those type of different challenges just for the variety. Even on Cherno, like, you know, I mean, I'm weird. I'm like a fashionista in DayZ. I want to wear like civilian outfits and different clothing.
Yep.
I'm sick of wearing the same pea coat over and over again. I'd like to wear check shirts every now and again, you know? So like, I'm hoping that come the summer, that'll be a thing where pea coats are too hot. And then like a check shirt or a t-shirt is going to work a lot better.
Well, we've got the guy planned to come on in the future who's doing the Australian map, so we'll be able to find out more about it then. Maybe he can team up with a good modder as well if that's not in his, if he's just a map maker, and create a custom mod, because I've said before on the show, I would love to see more survival aspects revolving around temperature and stuff like that, where you do overheat, because at the moment pretty much all there is getting too cold, but having
overheating and seeing dehydration tied to overheating
Yes.
would be a really, really awesome feature.
Yes, like even some of the more tropical climates like North Queensland, Northern Australia, where the humidity is bordering on 100%, and you just sweat sitting in the shade. You are sweating buckets of fluids. So having to keep your water levels up is a real challenge. But I do think there's still a lot more life left in the Molsk. It's still a very popular server. You know, Smoke seems to be playing it a hell of a lot, and because Smoke's playing it, everyone else is playing it for various reasons. But yeah,
I mean, if it could exist for as long as it had in DayZ mod and have a revival in standalone, it definitely still has some life in it, I'd say.
Have you seen the feature that was added about food from the mask?
no.
Hot food.
Yes.
Do you want to know what it is? But it's not groundbreaking.
Go for it.
I mean,
I don't think it's much of a spoiler, is it?
I don't think
I
so.
wouldn't say it is.
I'm only avoiding A3 spoilers personally.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So basically what it is, if you know the way when you cook food, you cook a steak or something on the oven and you can take it out and instantly eat it. In the mouse now, if you do that, it gives you damage because it's too hot. So you actually have to leave it a couple of minutes to cool down. And I didn't realize this at first, and I brought myself down today red health because I was eating hot food and I was wondering why I was nearly dying. I thought it was the fire, so it's something to keep an eye for. That'd be a cool thing to have in the base game as well, I think.
I think they're planning on bringing that to the base game. It definitely is a little over the top right now. I'm trying to find a clip, but earlier today, I was just hanging out with a guy. I wonder if I have a clip. I don't think I do. And this guy, he's cooking meat, and he was mostly friendly, but a little hostile. And he takes a piece of meat off of the stove. He takes 3 bites of it. He goes unconscious. I just like grabbed all his shit and ran away. But like, that's a little much. And the same thing happened to me. I took 2 bites and I went from yellow to flashing red, and that's just a little more than it should.
that seems kudos for trying something different. But I don't know about you guys, but I've cooked a steak before, whacked it on a plate, and fucking pretty much eaten it straight away, and just got hot.
Honestly,
I've never been in danger of dying.
I'm not trying to hate on it, but I kind of don't see the reason for that.
Just
That's one of those features where it's like you're trying to create something survival-esque, but it's like bare minimum in result. Like, oh, well, I just have to wait to eat the food now. It's like with the rain. It's like, oh, rain is survival. Okay, I just have to sit inside for 10 minutes. That isn't necessarily survival.
Well, the rain thing, like, as long as there's a way to counteract it. And actually, I had some people suggest that instead of it burning your mouth and you losing a lot of health, what if, like, you know how when you put a helmet on, you get muffled? You know, what if you burn your mouth so your character has muffled speech for like 5 minutes afterwards? I was like, all right, I like that. But like the rain thing, like, I remember when that was a big problem. And like, I think the biggest issue there is that there was no way to fight it, you know? Your only solution was to wait indoors. It was boring. But if it was like, oh, pick the right clothing, you can pick a raincoat that'll keep you warm and dry, which at the time it didn't. Like, it's all about like your choices being able to make it so you can actually progress. And if you choose to sit and wait, that's your choice. But you could also choose to prepare correctly and then be able to keep going, you know?
Nate in chat's bringing up a good point. Boiling water, yes. You know, putting a container of frozen water on and boiling that up and then drinking that. Yeah, there's a good chance that might actually kill you because you're going to fucking scald the entire inside of your body. But a bit of hot meat, we've all eaten hot meat before. Oh, too hot. Oh. And you just, you know, roll it around in your mouth and you kind of...
Yeah. Oh, another thing I thought of too would be cool is if you could, because like I was starving to death today, so of course I just grabbed it and started eating. But if you could like put the meat in your hand and like cool it down quicker by like blowing on it in some sort of way, kind of the way you reignite a fire, like that might be a way to add a little bit of something too. That way, you know, again, you take the step, you do something extra, you can eat it quicker. But it's just like half health from 3 bites is laughable. I think they know that though. I feel like it's like next patch they'll change it, you know.
I haven't played the
Testing
mosque enough to actually tell, but realistically, if it's a survival situation, you're in the mosque, just put it on the snow. That would cool it down. Does putting food on the ground actually cool food down?
I was putting meat on the ground to see if it cooled quicker. I don't feel like it did. But then also like the added benefit of putting it in your inventory, you get the heat buff quicker. So that was nice too. But yeah, I don't think it really cooled it down quicker.
Chat, you disappointed me. It took you this long to start making the chat sexual innuendos about Amish liking hot meat in him and stuff like that. And
they've been doing that all day. Don't congratulate them. Yeah, they've been behaving for like 20 minutes.
But yeah,
I wish it's too funny.
There's still a lot of life left in the mollusk, and yeah, sure, the popularity has waned a bit, but that's the case of everything. Yeah, it's cyclical. You know, just the same as PvP hotspots on a map change, people's interest in maps change, and people's playstyles change, and yeah, we'll see it come and go. And I just love the fact that they're still releasing stuff for it, and you know, giving people new inspiration of different ways to play the game.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm just so like updates this year. I was worried we wouldn't, you know.
Yeah, so I did see on the tweet there, someone had commented. So we've already had one update. So is it another 4 or is it 3 more? 4.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm happy. They met it last year with all the challenges that 2020 brought. So it's good to see them doing it again. Now, changes to the Steam Workshop rules. There's a rumour getting around that Nightwolf is in a bit of trouble. For those who don't know, Nightwolf was doing a helicopter mod that servers could buy for X amount of dollars, and then they would get the files and be able to use it on their server, which goes against Steam and Bohemia's monetization policy. And I've heard that that he's basically in a bit of trouble. Has anyone else heard anything about that?
Not at all.
Not really, no.
So
yeah, I don't add. So yeah, that's like over my head.
I did reach out to Bohemia for a comment, and they said they don't have one. So can't confirm or deny, but it's basically looks like they might be trying to crack down on some of this stuff. Now, I don't think that stops people from being able to pay someone to create a mod for them, but yeah, it's stolen assets were used. Apparently, Foxy's saying as well, and it's a very muddy incident. What's that, Marks?
I think was it sometime last week? Oh no, it would have been this week. The servers, the mod got a strike, I think, on the workshop. Yeah. And it was taken down. And then their servers that they used to connect to the mod to verify you own it or something also went offline for a couple of days. So any server that had the mod on their actual server was completely screwed over by it, and they couldn't use them. I know it's up. I think it's up back working now again, but it was for a little while there that it was down and just not working at all.
I mean, a lot of the guys who are making map mods, they have like Patreon and PayPal's, you know, so they accept like donations. Like, is that like the difference? Like, this guy's charging it just to be able to actually use it? Because like, you know, like I threw Sumac a couple bucks. You know, I was happy to. He works hard on that in his free time. You know, why the hell wouldn't I? I'm gonna play the map. I'm gonna enjoy it. But yeah, it seems similar. But I guess that one's voluntary and one's like kind of gatekeeping in a way.
Yeah, we definitely need some clarification on it, and it does kind of come back to the conversations we've had about the fact that most people are fine with chucking a few quid to streamers and YouTubers and stuff like that, but when it comes to giving a few dollars to the modders, most people have never even thought of doing it.
Server ad.
Yeah, there's this expectation that modders just do it out of the goodness of their own heart, which, you know, if he stole stuff, that's not on, but you can sort of understand why. Yeah, and I've been quite vocal on the fact that it kind of makes me sad that so many mods are server specific now. I'd love to see more sharing in the DayZ community, but I can kind of understand why modders do it, because there's fucking hardly a way for them to make $1 to support what they do. And, you know, they spend a lot of money buying assets, 3D models and things like that to customize, and a lot of time and effort goes into it, and some of them, you know, may not have an actual job and maybe you need to do it. So I can totally understand why they do it. You know, I pay people to create stuff for me as well, for the mod that I'm working on. But yeah, the system kind of encourages them to do things like this.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, he's able to make money off it. It's shitty, but, you know, go for it. You know, at the end of the day, you know, the only stopping him now, how long has he been doing it? 2 years? Something like that. If it was a much bigger deal, they would have stopped him, you know, week 1.
Foxy reckons he made 30,000 last year.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
I would have imagined for the helicopter mocks, like expansion was free, and they free? Actually, they were free from my end. They weren't free. I don't know about from a server admin perspective, but they had helicopters on it, and most of them don't anymore, from what I've seen. I always wonder what happened to that. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked.
I think a lot of servers or some servers are starting to remove his helicopter mod now, especially because, you know, it keeps going down a lot. So, or especially as of this week, anyway. So.
Yeah, I had it explained to me. He changed some stuff about it, so it wasn't really tied to him and all the rest of it. But it's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a messy situation, and you know, I wish I had someone on who knew the ins and outs of it more, with everything that's happened and that. But I think this is the beginning of a bit of a crackdown, so we'll have to wait and see what happens in the future with modding and paying for mods and all the rest of it. But yeah,
you know, the one thing I don't understand about Bohemia's cracking down on, we'll say heli skins, doesn't have to be paid, we'll just say free heli skins in general, is we're not going to get helicopters in DayZ anytime soon. Not within the next year or two, I would imagine, anyway. So I don't know why DayZ is always claiming these, you know, or striking these, DCMA striking these skins and stuff over and over again. People just want a good helicopter to use. We're not going to get them in the base game for years. We might never get them. Who knows?
I think that's the exact reason in itself, because if there's a constant influx of helicopter mods that are already in the game, then when they finally add helicopters in, that's not going to be impressive. You're just adding something we've already had for years.
Sure.
Yeah.
So basically they need to do damage control. RuneScape actually did the same thing a long time ago with old school RuneScape, because somebody completely recoded the old school RuneScape engine to look like RuneScape HD, which is a version of RuneScape that came out in like 2008. And it was free. They weren't getting any money for it whatsoever, but Jagex sent them a cease and desist and told them you either delete the code or you give it to us for free. So it's probably just a business thing, ensuring they're able to actually make hype out of it.
If they ever actually release, which...
Exactly.
I don't see it happening.
No, I don't either.
I also don't think it's necessary, but, you know.
Yeah, truthfully, I don't think they belong in the game.
Yeah, it's a nice bonus. It's not necessary. Again, it's not a helicopter game. It's a zombie game. Like, I think those are the priorities, but...
I'd rather see bicycles back in, honestly.
Yes.
Bikes would be cool.
Yeah.
And motorbikes.
Bicycles, quads, dirt bikes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Foxy. Boats would be very
Boats.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
Especially like Deer Isle. I know
Yep.
John
Yeah.
McClain. I've talked to him a couple times. He's got a custom Deer Isle boat mod being made by somebody, and
Awesome.
like Deer Isle is going to be essential. If you've played that recently, there's like all these new islands up in the northwest, and I mean even Cherno. I mean that's something the Running Man has said a million times. Is like they should really take more advantage of the sea. Add a couple more islands. Add like a high tier military base that like might be almost impossible to swim to, so you have to take a boat to get there. Like that stuff like that could be awesome.
Definitely.
Cool.
Even one of the things I love with Livonia is the river that traverses the northern area. It's a nice wide river, and you can imagine getting in a boat and shooting from one end to the other along there. And Chernerus kind of needs a nice big fat river like that snaking its way through it with a few branches and all the rest of it. Just to add another way of traversing the map. What was that, Amish?
It's got the Western River that goes all the way from like north-south down like Zell and all that. But I don't think it's really big enough. It's not big like Livonia's river. Not the same there.
No, but definitely something to watch. Maybe they do bring choppers in, maybe they don't. I wouldn't be surprised if they did drop them on us without us knowing they were coming. So, yeah.
Theoretically, it shouldn't be too hard if they can reutilize Arma assets, but whether they have the rights to that or not is a different story.
We're not allowed to use it. We can use Arma 2 stuff, but we can't use Arma 3, so yeah, have to wait and see. Creator server, finally an announcement.
Oh yeah, it's this month, right?
20th of March.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of having to play against people who are good at the game, so I'm against it. Dude, are you kidding me? I don't want to go up against Taupe. Sounds terrifying.
Taupe and Chopper and Hop and all these guys who are just absolute PvP beasts. Me, I'm just going to be hiding in the forest.
Yeah.
Look at try and find people who are by a campfire trying to survive and then work out what I'm going to do with them.
Yeah, I mean, the mod list is, again, that's what I think is the most interesting. Like, just playing against other streamers, like, I guess I see the appeal, but it almost seems more like kind of like trying to set up for like high school drama bullshit where you get like really angry, like, oh my god, did you hear that, Karma Crew raided this clan's base, and just like everybody gets all like butthurt at each other. But I mean, I just like Dab's mod list that he's been talking about sounds really cool. Like,
yeah,
I haven't been in the Discord in a while, but he talked about having it so that you can't move around items in your backpack unless it's in your hands. And like, that's something I would love. I mean, I'm all for R to reload, but I think if you're going to reload using R, the item should have to be on your hotbar. And if you're going to reload something, if you're going to use a hotbar, it should have to be in your inventory, like shirt, pants, vest.
There's a mod ready for that called Hardcore Backpacks.
Yeah, I've heard about that. And I would love one. You put the backpack in your hand, you hear a little zip noise, you can move stuff around in your backpack, and then, I mean, I'm OCD with my inventory. I put any ammo I'm using in my pants, any magazines that I'm using in like shirt, vest, pants, and then stuff that I don't need in my backpack. If I'm in a pinch, I'm low on stamina, I'll drop the backpack that has a bunch of cans of food in it, and then I got, a little bit extra stamina for the fight, I think that would be huge. If they had that, I mean, that's a reason enough for me to really check out the server.
They have that where I know they were putting in the custom zip sounds and everything like that for the backpacks and stuff like that. Another thing that they are adding or customizing is explosions, like grenades and stuff, so you can hear them from hundreds of meters away, and they actually work properly and like echo off and everything. I've seen that as well as another clip that was in the server.
Yeah,
it's looking really cool.
So weak in DayZ. Yeah. It's so odd that they're so quiet.
It's pretty rough. He also said, Dab said he's also, I think he said, I don't know if it was true, but he was going to release the mod pack for that server publicly to the Steam Workshop after the server was done.
Cool.
So that'll be cool for people who want to use that on the servers and stuff.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be just purely from a spectator's view. It's going to be good seeing so many egos all in the one small map, and just seeing what happens from it. I know, like you were saying, Amish, it is going to be a bit drama, high school sort of stuff. But part of me is actually looking forward to that because it's going to be hilarious.
Hopefully it stays lighthearted at least, I would hate to
hoping.
Yeah, But I don't generally get too upset. Is it going to be like base building focused? That's the one thing I like. If it's base building focused, that's when things are going to get really tense because people put hours and hours and hours into it.
He did have a mod he was talking about that he'd been working on, Erno. which was creating these standalone structures. But I think there's been some issues with that, so I'm not sure what they're looking at. But I know Dab was in chat before. I don't know whether he still is, but I'm not sure what solution they've come up with. Because, yeah, people get butthurt when they lose a base.
Actually, that might be a good reason, like one reason for people to play. You know, like the bigger guys, like the running man's always saying, he's like, I can't build the base. Like he just couldn't. It would get griefed and stream sniped and all that. You know, when you're that size, Smoke probably has the same issue. Although day one you don't build bases, but like on that type of server, it'd be easier to monitor, and the bigger guys might actually be able to build a base if they wanted to. So that is a benefit I hadn't thought of.
Yeah. Because that always makes me sad, you know, when you see that's the whole aspect of DayZ that most content creators never get to experiment with. The YouTubers do, if they're not streaming, they're just doing YouTube videos. They can do it because that's obviously not happening live. But then they've got to wait a while before they can release videos because, you know, I've done it. I've streamed building bases and that, and people memorize your base layout and they know exactly where all the good stuff is, and they just raid you straight up. Easily because they know all the strong points and weaknesses of your base, and yeah, so it is kind of sad to see so many people missing out on what is a big aspect of DayZ.
Yeah, FT did a great the Base Bandit series. I don't know if you watched that, but that was solid. And you know, I mean, he always managed to do that pretty well. He just edited it correctly. I don't know if he was streaming at the time. I think that was before I was ever even watching Twitch, let alone streaming myself. But you know, those were great.
He's an amazing creator, Super FT LOL. It always disappoints me that he never blew up like the Running Man did. Because, you know, for those who remember, it was him, the Running Man, and Barely Infected were, you know, the holy trio of DayZ back in the day. And the Running Man blew up massively. Super FT LOL still does well. He gets a few hundred people watching him. But he just never took off like the Running Man did, and I never understood it because he's as good as the Running Man is, in my opinion. He's got his own dry sense of humour and a loyal following, and yeah, deserves to have a lot more attention.
They're all, I mean, those three guys, they made DayZ for me. Like, I know Frankie is everybody's golden boy, but like those three, you know, FT taught me to flank and use tactics. Barely Infected taught me that it's worthwhile to try to talk to people and be friendly. And the Running Man taught me to fuck all of that and just run in guns blazing. So like those guys, like really, they really affected, you know, the way I played the game. But yeah, I mean.
A murder. FT was too busy flanking to grow his channel. and when you talk about Super FT LOL, a flank is a serious fucking flank. Like the guy will go around half the fucking map. But it usually works for him. You know, he's even got an emote, an FT flank. He's probably the flanking master. When you think of flanking, think FT. I said flanking, not wanking. But yeah, no, he's still going strong, still there. Definitely worth checking out. He's an amazing content creator. Guys, we have flown through the agenda tonight, or today. We're now on to the little mini spotlights. One that I wanted to bring a highlight on. We were talking before about Infected and the lack of variety from them. Now, have you guys heard of the PVZ mod?
Negative.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant mod. You may have played on a server where when you searched an Infected, you noticed that their inventory looked like a player's. It had slots for weapons and all the rest of it.
Ooh.
I
like that.
This is what PVZ mod does. You can basically customize the Infected. Now, I've got it on my server. Basically, if you see a pre-zombie, you run. Because they are just insanely strong. They sprint at the normal speed. They're the worst Infected to run into. Followed closely by military zombies. There's a zombie chick who looks like a librarian, but she'll only ever walk. If she hits you, you know you've been hit. It adds basically a whole pile of customization for what you can and can't do with the Infected. It's an amazing little mod, and these are all done by Liven. who has quite a good little mod pack there. No wall hack on connection. PvZ Dark Horde, moving horde night and day. PvZ mod spawn system.
That's actually hilarious that there's a mod that fixes the issue between seeing through walls when you spawn in, but it hasn't been fixed in the actual game yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
I don't know if it was like if it's possible, but like if Bohemia just bought a bunch of the mods and just brought them into the vanilla game, it would really
Yes.
So
It
that
is.
for a while.
like even just like clothing mods, like different color Talon bags, you know, like it just stuff like that would be even nice, and it would save them a lot of work, I would think, you know.
Yeah, they probably have to polish the code a bit because, you know, modders
Yeah.
don't have full access and all the rest of it. But I totally 100% agree with you, mate. Why aren't they lightening their workload and looking at some of these good mods and saying, yes, here's a couple of $1,000, mate. We want to buy your mod from you and incorporate it into the game. It rewards them for creating quality content. Basically have them as contractors.
I mean, that's how the whole mod got made. I mean, Dean Hall made a mod of Arma 2,
Yeah.
and then they bought the mod, and you know, like, so it kind of makes sense. But I'm sure there's a reason. You know, I just whenever it gets to be these things, I have ideas, and then I'm like, well, there's probably a reason. I'm too stupid to know why it wouldn't work, but yeah.
Need to start spending some of that 10-cent money.
But
Some of these mods in.
I put a link to his workshop in chat. Definitely check it out, guys. If you're playing on a server and you've got people saying that the infected just aren't a threat, well, there's a fix for it. That you can install this mod. It's a little bit of a tricky mod. Pardon me. I've got the Rona. But I'm joking. I don't have it. But it's definitely one to check out. And it really adds to the threat of infected. Like, you know, I find myself just crawling everywhere when I'm in a town. You can't just run through because if you get enough of them on you, you're in a world of hurt. You are in a world of hurt. So it's an amazing little mod, folks. Amazing little mod there. Heavy attack, double damage. Yeah, he's got some other stuff there to check out, but I definitely wanted to give him a shout out because I've been a huge fan of PvZ mod since the first time I saw it was on DayZ Down Under, and it just adds so much to it. Plus, you can have now military zombies that actually have a weapon on them. You know, a weapon that's slung on them. It's not common, but when you search them, sure enough, there's an AK or something, usually badly damaged, as you'd expect it to be after years of being, you know, stuck to a body. But it adds variety of what you can actually find on them. So it's more than just making infected more of a threat. It's also about changing what they have on them and so on. Very, very good little mod.
Adding like hats and backpacks to zombies and vests, like, was awesome. I mean, that first week, like every time you saw a zombie with a backpack on, you were shitting a brick because you thought it was a player.
Even now, the one with the head torch on it at
Yeah,
nighttime.
I was about to say the head torch one was the scariest shit I ever
Yeah.
fucking saw in the game the
Fuck,
first
there's a
time I saw
player.
it.
Look at that fucking torch.
You know, like I love that. Yeah, zombie variety would be great. How do you guys feel about like if they were like, you know, like in Last of Us, they have like bloaters and then they have like different like, you know. Have you ever thought about? I don't know if any there's bloodsuckers in some of the mall servers, but I honestly, it might go against DayZ's lores, but I think stuff like that could be fun. I don't know.
I
If it's
agree with you, mate. It's
to a
maybe not for
particular
every
map.
server, but Helkiana has skinwalkers on her server, extra creatures, so it's up to the server. I think there's definitely a market for it. What were you saying, Agony?
As long as it's restricted to particular maps, I don't mind having new enemies and stuff like that. Because I don't really think I would like bloodsuckers on Chernaris on a everyday thing. But on Namalsk, that's different. That actually works in that case because it's Namalsk. It's a completely different experience than
Yeah.
Chernaris.
Yep.
We talked about environmental threats that they talked about. That different zombies. I mean, that could be something they were talking about there. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If they bring in radiation, they could have irradiated Zeds as well. That
Yeah.
could have a whole different thing. I actually wanted to see if they could even go as far as doing like irradiated ammo. Like having irradiated weapons. Maybe it's like a really good weapon, but if you hold it for too long with your character, it'll give you damage. I don't know. Some things to spice up radiation a bit to make it have perks. Because personally, I think radiation is cool, but I don't think that servers have used it properly. I don't think it should be used to ward away camping at Tissy. Because you go to Tissy, you kind of want PvP at Tissy. I don't want people to not be able to sit there.
No, I'm with you on that. Like it's like there have been radiated maps that were fun, but then they didn't really last. Like Karma Crew had it for a while, and they took it off after a while. And it was fun while it was there, but it's literally was just like it was just extra steps to go to Tizzy. You just had to have the right gear to get to Tizzy, and then you had a time limit. And again, really fun, but like if there were more like different effects and it wasn't just like, oh, you can't go there unless you have this item, and there was something a little more nuanced to it, it hurt you after you left, or you know, I don't know, I'm just spitballing, but like something that a little more than just taking health damage could definitely add to it.
I totally agree. Like I saw Mark, you put a tweet out about, does anyone else kind of feel meh about Tizzy? Tizzy's a wasted resource, in my opinion.
100%. Need something. Because if they were to bring in radiation, that's where I would expect them to put it.
I thought that was always the plan.
It was back in the day. They talked about it. I remember it.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
I'm having a false
100%
memory,
was their
but
plan.
yeah, you remember the same agony?
Yeah, Tissy was supposed to be irradiated since forever, pretty much. But I see the reasoning for it, but I just disagree in trying to push away people from going and populating such a high profile PvP area. It doesn't make sense to me. I'd rather have dynamic radiation zones that are moving across the map. Maybe one day you play, it's in Dubrovka, the next day it's in Solnichny, the next day it's in Lopatino.
Yeah, the only issue with that is if you set up your base and suddenly the radiation zone is on your location, you don't know, you've logged out, you log back in, and all of a sudden you're being irradiated and you don't have the NBC gear, you're screwed.
I mean, that's survival. Have a redometer with you.
You got to evacuate and come back. I mean,
exactly.
I think that could be cool. I've always wanted like hordes of zombies with that type of.
That would finally give a real reason for a car, honestly, than just picking up your friends, getting the fuck out of the rad zone at that point.
Yeah, true.
I love that idea of like something that's kind of like shifting throughout the map, whether it be a horde or like radiation or whatever. You know, even if it was like a herd of animals that you could hunt, there's just like the idea that you could walk up to a player and be like, yeah, man, like, did you hear about that horde up in, you know, Navoya?
Hordes was another thing that I wanted as well. Yeah.
I think
dynamic
the
events
Toxic Zone mod does that. You can have a moving toxic cloud.
Yeah, you can. But if they were to do like say a moving toxic cloud in the vanilla game, that would give the, you know, those radios in the cities chances, maybe alarms go off as well if it's coming nearby or something like that in every city as well, to warn you that it's on the way or something like that. Cool as well.
Or maybe just have it be classic. You just see it in the distance rolling in.
Yeah, that's what I remember seeing on DayZ Down Under, I think it was. The rolling cloud of green toxic gas moving through the map, and you're like, oh shit, gotta run.
I don't think, if that's the case though, I don't think you should necessarily need the whole NBC suit to not die. I think you should be able to have the mask first and foremost with a filter, and that'll keep you from dying, and then you just get sick. But without the suit, that would be the main thing. Actually, is just balancing the suit and the mask and making it to where it's not OP and not like a hindrance to have to get the suit. Because when you think about it, how often do you really complete the whole NBC suit?
I know one guy who wears it all the time, and he's a legend. His name is Banana Man, and he's the hero.
Yeah, I've come across him before.
Yeah, he's amazing. The superhero of Chernaris.
He's ready. That man is ready for when that shit happens. He's gonna be laughing while everyone else is crying.
I'm just looking at this PvZ mod, the Dark Horde. The Namolsk EVR Storm is linked to the Dark Horde, possible to teleport players near the Horde. So, looks like Liven's got some pretty cool stuff that he's worked on. Night Zombies, White Ladies, weak but fast and go through doors. Night Walkers have to be headshot but slow and go through doors. Gillies, completely invisible at long distance. Red Eyes, always run, never simply walk. Almost invisible zombies, hard to see with NVGs but easy without. So, Yeah, there's some amazing stuff out there, folks, that is being worked on by people, and Liven's workshop is full of quite a few of them. If you're interested in stuff to spice up your server, I could just imagine dropping this mod on a community without letting them know that it's coming, and all of a sudden, like the military zombies, quite a lot of them have helmets, and you can pump 4 or 5 9mm bullets into their heads and they still don't go down. So it really changes things up. It makes infected a threat, which is one of the most common complaints you hear about DayZ, a game with zombies in it, and the zombies aren't a threat. Well, there's a fix there for those that want to.
Yeah, I was about to say the zombies not being a threat nowadays is more so you're standing in a doorway or inside a building, and then the zombie is doing 180-degree arcs around the doorway instead of going into it.
Yeah.
Or running around you and not attacking you like a fucking dog that's excited to see you.
Even though they are still like broken with that side of things, like Deer Isle and Namalsk, you really got to be careful. When you're at the airfield on Deer Isle, if you fire a shot, I mean, you could get overwhelmed so quickly. And Namalsk is the same way.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
And immediately got punished by gun race.
Oh yeah, God, the gun raising. I think they should take weapon collision out until it's fixed. But it hasn't bothered me much recently, but like it's.
Honestly, it's something that you can forget about, but then when it happens, it fucking irks you when it does. So
yeah,
killed me just before I started. Before I joined the podcast, it killed me. I got swarmed by zombies. I tried to, the weapon punch that you can do and try to push them back. It didn't do that. I just raised my gun up and instantly just got swarmed, and I was like, okay, screw it. Don't care.
That's how it
I would
goes.
love to see too that those weapon melees use a little bit less stamina, because it uses like a 30 your stamina right now. And 2, with a bayonet, if you headshot a zombie with a bayonet,
should be a one tap.
Yeah, because like that would make it so useful. I mean, no one uses bayonets right now because I think they actually decrease your or increase bullet dispersion, so like you're less accurate with it. But it would be so nice to have an M4 that you don't have to put away if you're gonna get swarmed by zombies.
Anytime I've tried using the bayonet, I run out of stamina using the bayonet before the Zed is even dead. So effectively, it has no purpose, because why would you even use that on a person? Because if you're gonna melee a person, you're not gonna melee them over and over. You're gonna 2-piece them. You're gonna melee them once and then pop them dead. Like shoot them once and then it's over.
That is so satisfying though, just like pop them and then.
Classic Gears of War combo.
But it's always so disappointing when you do bayonets, even in infected, and it does bugger all to them. It's like, oh. So I bothered to attach a bayonet and it doesn't do much. Well, that was a waste of time.
I mean, that's like what we said back earlier. Weapon attachments having more significance would be nice.
Yeah.
I would like to see the ability, instead of having to find double mags, why can't we just duct tape 2 fucking mags together and make a makeshift double mag?
I had that idea a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking to Dumpgrab about it, I think it was, and he said it is possible to make it look like that, but it would just kind of turn it into a 60 rounder.
And speaking of duct tape, before I forget it, if there's anyone in the dev team listening, please make it to where you can fix your shoes with duct tape, because people have been doing that for years. You don't need to use a sewing kit to fix your fucking shoes.
See, I've always said that duct tape should be allowed to repair things to damage state only. Not worn, but to damage state.
Exactly.
Just to, it basically, duct tape was just a stopgap until you could find a more, relevant item, such as a leather sewing kit or something like that. Duct tape was you use duct tape not in general, not as a permanent solution to stuff. So you should be able to repair from badly damaged to damage using duct tape, most items.
Yeah, I like that balance, because duct tape was way too OP. You had no reason for a weapon cleaning kit for a long time, but I think
that's the thing though, is they go from 2 different extremes back and forth. They make it duct tape is God for a bit, like the meme that duct tape is, and then they make it borderline useless.
Now my mini spotlight for a content creator is, we were talking about him before, Super FT LOL. Guy's on 17,400 subscribers. Should be on 10 times that, in my opinion. You were talking about his videos back in the day, Amish. They're fucking brilliant. They are absolutely brilliant. He is a god-tier creator. He has brilliant use of music in his videos that really amplifies the emotion at the moment, doesn't it, Amish?
Yeah, FT. I mean, like I said, FT, Rene, TRMZ, like those are like the guys that really got me. And you know, Frankie, again, all due respect, but like those are the standalone guys for me. You know.
Yep. When Frankie stopped making videos, my go-tos were TRMZ, FT, Barely Infected, Mr. Blackout, Jam Jar, Mr. Moon. You know, all those guys who rose up at that right time and were creating amazing content back in the day. And FT is still pumping them out. He also streams on Twitch. I'll get his channel link and put it into chat as well.
Still one of the funniest moments I've ever seen in DayZ is when FT got caught like sticking his finger up a deer's butt and some random dude just like rolled up there. It just
but it was a banana. The banana.
Oh,
banana on a stick. I used that in one of my DayZ clips thing. And
just the fact that he got caught was just freaking gold, dude.
Honestly, one of the best, funniest moments of DayZ. And he always seems to have them. Like the time when he was going up the ladder and that female character was coming down. And he looks right up and her underwear is right in his face. And he's like, oh, excuse me. And it was the guy, which made it even better. It just made for the most interesting moments. And he has a lot of them. I think he even has an emote, which is a banana on a stick.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring back the banana and the holster.
Yo, the ultimate weapon combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some videos that have done amazingly well. 38,000 views and so on. And of late, his videos don't seem to be getting the same traction they used to, but that's probably because a lot of people haven't heard of him. Yeah, it's been so long. I can't remember the last time he did a run with the Running Man. So definitely go check his channel out, folks. He's an amazing guy. Let him know the podcast sent you. You won't regret it. He streams a lot, streams regularly. He's quite fond of the dirty jokes as well, isn't he, Amish?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's always on at night. I got to catch him more.
Yeah.
Well, night my time.
No. And he's a very wholesome player. Like his DayZ Bandit series, you can check it, or Base Bandits, you can check it in here. Were amazing as well. So he's got a Series 2 and a Series 1 where, yeah, just definitely worth watching. Really good adventures that you'll enjoy. And some of his stuff, like I loved it back in the day when they used to run as the trio, and you'd sit there excited knowing that all three of them were going to release a video showing their angle of an incident. And you'd watch all three videos, wouldn't you, Amish?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, he did Toby, like, picture-in-picture a lot with the Base Bandit stuff.
Yep.
So you got to see both perspectives. I've tried that a few times because of him, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Toby's very underrated as well. Toby's his go-to running partner, along with Molly. Plays with Molly
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot.
Miss Magoo.
Someone send me your contact details for Mr. Rectangle. I'll be honest and say I don't think I've heard of Mr. Rectangle, but that's because there's just so many people at the moment. It's hard to keep track of everyone, isn't it, Marks?
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of new players coming into the scene every day even. This rate, it's crazy.
Now, our artwork creator mini spotlight, the very talented Miss Knifey Spoony. She's done some stuff for me as well, but I like her little description here. Hello, I make them little pictures in your Twitch chats. Yeah, she's done some good stuff. So if you're looking for someone to create some good quality emotes for you, definitely check her out. I'll share her link in chat as well for you all. But yeah, we're kind of a bit spoiled for choice at the moment. There's so many amazing artists out there doing this sort of stuff. Who do you use, Amish?
Doc Strangelove. Lolly Fox made my first set of emotes,
Yep.
and then she kind of stopped making them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Doc Strangelove has just, man. I mean, I don't mean to take away from the spotlight for Knifey Spoony, because her work seems great too. But yeah, like Doc, just so easy to work with. Like I just come to him with like some crazy idea that doesn't work, and he'll either make it work or explain why it won't. And here's an alternative. Like he's who I've been using recently.
Yeah, I've heard about him as well. We might have to shine a spotlight on him next week. But yeah,
Yeah.
Knifey is amazing. She's a lovely young lass as well, and very prompt, very quick to get back to you. So, yeah. Heavily involved in the DayZ community as well.
Awesome.
And last but not least, our community spotlight, and we talked about it before, but this is the website if you want to find out more about Day Zero. Happy Bombs has a website that's up and running, so definitely check it out. You'll be very, very happy if you are interested in a good community that's well run, is going to be around, isn't just a flash in the pan community. So definitely go check it out. Winter Churnerus, Deer Isle, and the Molsk. Is it still Winter Churnerus, Amish?
I don't think so. No.
No. So website.
They've changed things around a bit. They do those death squads every Thursdays, which is it's really a lot of fun. And they're always tweaking exactly how that works. There was a bandit system and stuff like that. But I think that they took Winter Cherno and they made, I could be wrong, but they made that a specific death squad for Thursday night death squads. It's just that server, and now there's a separate Cherno server that has those base rate improvements that you were talking about with building actual buildings and then using gas canisters, both jerry cans and the blue ones, for explosions and stuff. But yeah, but Thursdays, if anybody in the chat, Thursday nights around, I think it starts at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard, 8 p.m. UK time. Every Thursday it's just a PvP shit show in a designated town. It's a blast. And there's also you win prizes. There's all kinds of cool stuff along with that. And
the custom gear that the guys carry, that revolver looks so badass, doesn't it, Marks?
Yeah, it does. It does.
That's a sweet little model.
The revolvers in the game and stuff, those weapons always seem way too clean. That kind of makes sense. They always seem like they're brand new, just out of the box. But stuff like that kind of look a bit more used. So I like the grips that are on it as well. Make it look quite nice.
Even the helmet looks pretty cool, doesn't it, Agony?
Yeah, I've always actually enjoyed the fact that Zero goes out of the way to put variants of things that are already existing in the game, because that's such a bare minimum thing that the developers could be doing, just different colored plate carriers even. And
see, this is
I don't understand how that
we were
hasn't
talking
occurred
before
yet.
about mods. Might not have been in here. It might have been in just in a conversation I was having, and someone said about how do servers differentiate themselves if they can't get custom mods. Well, this is the way you can do it. Create custom items that are unique to your server. That's a way to have stuff. The Death Squads. Nearly everyone in chat has heard of Death Squad Thursday. I've never played in it just because the ping sucks for me. But even I've heard of Death Squad. Even I've heard of the True Colours events that Happy Bombs does. It's amazing.
I actually did not know that about the lures. That is awesome. Nate just said they have custom. I knew they had custom lures. I didn't know they change how successful you are at fishing.
I didn't even know that either.
I didn't know that either. Custom lures with higher success rate for fishing. That's awesome. Little things like that. They're easy to do.
Yeah, small stuff like that adds up, honestly, because it's even with clothes, I'm sure a lot of you guys saw how rampant and infectious ponchos were when ponchos were first introduced as a mod. It's you saw one server playing, and then people were just oh, they got ponchos on this server.
Yes.
I like playing that.
Windstride's ponchos are awesome. Anymore. I love them.
So,
I love his they just look badass.
Used to be back in the day, you saw somebody with a ghillie hood, you knew they were the tryhard. Now it's the poncho people are the tryhards.
Oh God, I love it. But guys, I want to thank you so much. And now it's time for you guys to give me your highlights. Amish, what's been something that stood out for you, and not even just the last week, but it's really stood out of late that you want to give a shout out to?
Deer Isle.
Yeah,
dude, that map. I mean, it's so good. And I mean, John McClane puts a lot of work into it. And what I think is so special about Deer Isle is the way that the map tells the story by itself. So and Cherno has this stuff too, but Deer Isle just has it in spades. You're walking down the road and you see tire tracks on the road veering off to the left, you see a guardrail knocked down, and then you go down to the ditch, and there's a bus there, and you're just like, okay, so like I know what happened here. A bus veered off the road and crashed, or there's this one area I always use as an example. There's this area that it's a police station and a grocery store with a well there, and it's completely walled off. You can't get in, but if you look around a little bit and you go into some ruins, there's a way to cross a bridge above it to get into the thing. I mean, everybody knows about the hidden underground locations. I've seen, I want to say like 5 or 6 of them, but there's more I haven't seen yet. Dude's got like nerd stuff in there, like Mjolnir and an X-Wing, and he's planning on adding more. The vault. I think that square footage-wise, Deer Isle is supposed to be the same size as Cherno, but like the vault itself is like the size of Namalsk. It's insane how vast that thing is, and just how tricky it is to get around it. I can't recommend it enough. And then obviously Zero is a great server to play it on. And I mean, I'm only describing a couple of things, but there's like a whole section of Deer Isle that it's not even done yet. Like they got like a sunken village that like no one goes to because it's barely on the map. Like I think that Deer Isle, Cherno always holds a special place in my heart. DayZ was designed around it, but like Deer Isle, I think is probably number 2 with Namalsk like right below it. And mostly that's because I'm a wimp and I can't deal with Namalsk and the elements on a daily basis because that shit is brutal. I love it, but it's like a every other day map for me.
Just watching Cheddar*'s cinematic he did on it, and it's such a beautiful map. I think we need to look at getting Benny back on the show soon, Marks, just to talk about what he's done since these videos came out and what he's got planned, and because he's always working on it, Agony. He's always streaming and he's always adding, and like you said, Amish, the little attention to detail that he puts into. You love the map to tell you a story, Agony. As you're going around, and you can look and say, "I wonder what happened here," and yes,
visual storytelling is something that's huge in DayZ, and I don't think that any of the maps do it nearly as well as Deer Isle actually does in terms of visual storytelling.
Namalsk has the lore that helps with that, but Deer Isle just does it purely visual. Yeah.
Honestly, in that type of situation, that's in a survival game, in my opinion, that's the best type of lore that you could have, is just visual, not confirmation, but like visual affirmation. Just like, oh, you have an idea of what happened. It's like with Fallout. When you walk into an area, you see a skeleton with a gun in their hand and like whatever various objects in the distance. You're just like, oh shit, I wonder what happens here. 3 rooms down, you read a terminal that explains what happens, and you fully piece it together. So it's just like small things being delivered bit by bit instead of being spoon-fed to you really add up in terms of discovery and ambiance on a map.
Well, and not to mention, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Well, not to mention that like some people have said like, oh, when's DayZ gonna add like missions, like and they've done like airdrops and things like that. Again, like without like having to tell a story or put like text in, like Deer Isle has given you a mission. Like, we had a group of people get on. We're like, all right, we're gonna go find a key card. Here's where we think we can find a key card. We gotta get 2. We're gonna go into the vault. We're gonna explore. Hopefully, we can all make it out alive. And like we were losing people along the way. The temple is the same way, although it requires less work to get there. Like you have these missions that it creates just from the map. It doesn't need an AC-130 is flying over Novoya Petrovka and then everybody rushes there. It doesn't need that. It does it all by itself, and it's just next level.
I think that's the whole beauty of DayZ as a whole, is there is no actual goal. There is no linear set course that you need to take. It's just whatever happens.
Yes.
And whatever's in front of you, that is your story. That is how you get your story. And if it were any other way at that point, if you add missions, you're just playing Arma at that point. So I feel like
why a lot of people struggle with DayZ is they struggle with that concept of, you see it all the time. You'd probably get it as well in chat, Amish. What's this game all about? What do you do? And the only answer is whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for some people, that's kind of like, but what?
It's what you make it,
Dr. Dedrek, what's the rearmed server trailer?
So, do you want me to explain it?
Yeah.
So remember I was talking to you in Discord about that Tarkov's inspired server?
Yep.
I'll do this as my spotlight. I made a video today on this server. It's basically Escape from Tarkov inspired in DayZ. So there's certain rooms and buildings around the map that, you know, in Tarkov you either have keys or a key card to get into certain rooms. This one as well, you find around the map and on zombies and such, key cards and keys to get into rooms. Key cards are for high tier loot and keys are usually for medium loot, base building loot, that type of stuff. They have all these around the places. So like Tissy, for example, is a very high tier spot. And you go there and there's AI there that basically scavs. And they will shoot you and all the rest of it. And you can obviously loot them and all that stuff as well. But when you like open a door, for example, in Tissy, like, you know, the HQ in Tissy, it has an underground area. That's keycard off, so you go in there. It sounds an alarm that goes off, and it basically alerts anybody in that area. It's a very, very loud alarm. It goes off for a while, and you can hear from a great distance that you're in that area and you're after opening that certain room. They have stuff like this as well. They have an oil rig that's out just off the coast of Chernus. Same thing. It has AI on that. It has AI, and then those rooms again where you require a black key card to get into it to be able to open these rooms to get all the loot, and the alarms go off and stuff like that as well. It's it was very, very cool, very unique. These keys make you explore the map more to places you mightn't necessarily visit, and it's really cool. And yeah, people are really, really liking it. And yeah, it's cool. It's something unique and different to just your standard DayZ servers. So
Cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
I like the official trailer. The best DayZ service. Sorry, other service. DayZ rearmed. But this is great. You know, someone's coming up with a different way to play the game. And yeah, when you find yourself getting a bit bored, Amish, you generally just need to go and find another server that mixes it up a bit for you.
Yeah, I mean, I rarely find myself getting bored, but that one does sound interesting.
Another thing that was part of this is it has dynamic airplane crashes. So these airplanes fly in, they're usually the big AC-130s, they fly in, they'll explode, and then they'll crash randomly around the map, and they'll have loot on them, which you can go loot and all that. And sometimes if you're lucky, you'll see it flying overhead and explode. And it's another really cool thing, instead of having just static heli crashes all around the place.
I like those ideas, but without like the text that says, like, tells everybody on the map where it's going to be. Like, if it's just something you see and it crashes, I like that idea.
Or,
It
but the
doesn't
other one
tell
I
you,
like,
it just-
Amish, is a radio call to encourage people to have a radio on them, tuned into the default channel 87.8 Survivor FM. Shameless plug there. But, you know, something that gets people interacting. So it's a choice thing of not a message popping up on screen, but you know, the Survivor Missions has it where it's, you know, you don't even need to record the message, but it's something that pops up on screen if you have a radio turned on. There is going to be a drop in near Belota, or, you know, at XYZ location. Maybe give coordinates instead of the message that pops up for everyone. Reward people for actually carrying a radio on them. Like, that looks fucking sweet as.
Yeah, there is no text. It's just, if you see it coming overhead, you'll know it's crashing. There is no text to tell you it's incoming or anything like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it just said Mayday, Mayday, going down near Belota.
That would also be cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it an infinite stamina server or like traders or
It is
anything like that?
Yeah, it does have infinite stamina traders, but
Okay.
because you find like Bitcoin and graphics cards like you would in Tarkov, and you get to sell them and stuff like that to be able to buy whatever you want, cars or whatnot.
I'm interested. Yeah, it's completely different to
it's
mine. I'm interested purely from the perspective of it's something different. Some different, you know, things to do in the game to mix it up, a bit of variety.
Yeah.
See, I would like to see servers like this actually come out, except without traders. I would love to actually experience all the other mods just without traders.
It would be cool, yeah.
Which kind of ties you back to why I'm always sad when I see certain mods linked to a certain server. If that server doesn't match your playstyle, you miss out on the joy of experiencing something that's fucking awesome. But yeah. What about you, Agony? You got any highlights for us, mate?
Can it be? Does it have to be a mod,
No, it could be
creator
anything.
in particular?
Anything that you want to shout out.
Probably my homie Deadfrag. Then I think he's actually doing a 12-hour stream right now. I ran into him sometime November of last year, I want to say. One of the few times I actually ran with somebody in day one and befriended them, which I'm glad I did. But it's a solid streamer, good dude, knows how to talk to his chat, good runs, actually entertaining. Isn't your run-of-the-mill streamer. So definitely check out Deadfrag if y'all want to give a chance. On top of that, more than anything, I hate to self-plug, but if you can, check out the one YouTube video that I have, because I can't stream until I get a new motherboard and CPU. My motherboard died. So pretty much YouTube is my only form of content creation if I'm going to continue doing it right now.
What's your
until
channel,
I get
mate?
a new
Put
one.
it into chat so people can see it.
First and foremost, let me plug Deadfrags, because I would much rather plug the homie than myself right now.
Seconded on Deadfrag and Agony as well. But yeah, Deadfrag's a good dude.
We'll rate him when the stream ends.
Awesome, I
follow
appreciate
him. So just share your channel, mate. What's your YouTube channel? Because I've got Deadfrag here.
1 second. I have to go pull the link because I do not have an actual URL just yet. You need like 100 followers or something like that. There you go. That's my most recent and only video there. Probably going to do more. Like I said, that's pretty much all I can do is make videos until I get a new PC, pretty much. So
There you go,
I like
mate.
the thumbnail.
You just hit 29.
yeah. It's very memey. It's not serious. It starts off serious. I intended it to be a cinematic movie, but I don't know, man. I'm a shitposty person. When it comes to stuff like this, I have to have humor in there. So
I've got to
if
say,
anyone
mate, I'm
hasn't heard of
impressed
me,
with all your cinematic work.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I never did any of this sort of stuff, which is why my gameplay videos sucked by comparison to people like Fubar Bundy, who are all about those cinematic intros to their videos and stuff like that. You're definitely giving yourself the best possible start there, mate.
I appreciate that. That's actually something I want to incorporate a little bit in the future and further videos is having cinematics thrown in with the memes in the shit posts, just to really starkly contrast. Even though it is meant to be a humorous video, it still looks nice and clean. So
my little shout out is going to be for someone like yourself, mate. Who's
that's
just
Mike.
done their
That's
first
the homie.
video. Mike Daone, yeah. He just released his first video, and I got to say, man, it was fucking good. I'm subscribed to him on my personal channel. I'm subscribing to him on the YouTube channel as well. But DayZ, a Slavic adventure. That was his. He did a short little one there, a DayZ short. But again, just a great video with some beautiful cinematic work. It's amazing to see the quality that some of these people are putting into their videos, Amish. First time YouTubers, and they're creating stuff like this. So shout out to both you and Mike, mate.
Yep. Mike is he's definitely been wanting to do that for a while. I spoke with him a while back saying that he was thinking about getting into it, and I didn't think he was going to actually delve into it that far. Like, I knew he'd put quality into it, obviously, because he's pretty passionate about the game, but glad to see him actually doing it.
Same. Very, very happy.
Yeah, I've seen Mike in the community for a while. I'm glad to see he's making videos. I'm just subbed. I'll check it out.
Reminders chat. These are really cool.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. Like, I'm going to make an announcement now as well. What we're going to be doing, folks, is I got a bit of feedback, a little bit of criticism on the DayZ podcast, that it's more about creators and so on, and not so much about DayZ. And I thought about it after I got my bit of butthurt over and done with. But I thought about it and I went, they're kind of right. Pretty much all we've ever done is have modders and YouTubers and streamers on, and sometimes Dev Team as our guests. So every month, the last episode of every month is going to feature 2 players. Just players. people who aren't YouTubers or something like that. Although I do have Mike, and Mike is now a YouTuber, but he's still very relatively unknown, so I think he still qualifies. But if you guys are interested in being guests on the show, join our Discord and let us know. Because we want to hear from the average players as well. Because I've said it time and time again, Amish, that as content creators, like you were talking before about, one of the advantages of the creator server is going to be that people will, like the Running Man, will be able to maybe experiment with base building, which they've never been able to do. As content creators, we play the game differently a bit to the average person because, you know, it's all about creating content that people enjoy watching. And, you know, I play survivalist and my streams are boring as fuck because I'm, you know, stalking a pig and then hunting it and skinning it and crafting stuff and cooking up all the meat and just generally wandering around and looting and trying to avoid interaction because that's how I like to play. But that's boring content. Content creators play the game differently to the average Joe. So we want to hear from the average person who just plays DayZ the way normal people do, people who aren't creating content. What do you guys think of that idea?
Yeah, it's a good idea. Be cool to see how other people play the game and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, whatever encourages growth in the game and the community and encourages more people to connect with other people, the better, honestly. Because the whole inclusivity will pretty much ruin any scene that's possible. So having more regular people, more of everyone in general, like I said, it just only promotes growth. Everyone wins.
So on March 27th, we've got Sandal and Syntax joining us, two players that are quite well known in, to me. And yeah, so I'm excited for it. It's going to be good to hear from the average Joe about their thoughts on DayZ and all the things we talk about it.
It's great.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at what Aiden just wrote in chat. I thought about going on an all.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But that's just nuts. That is good. That is good. Guys, I want to thank you so much. I want to announce next week's guest now. Next week is our 52nd episode. So that's 1 year of the podcast. I can't believe we made it this long. Yeah, we've changed a lot. I think we've improved a lot, but always looking to improve. And next week, I'm still yet to tie down one of these people, confirmed. I've sent him a message. I'm just waiting on a reply. But we have got Soma coming back. We had him in episode 42 talking about Survivor games. We've got Lou, who was also involved in Survivor games, and hopefully Brian Hicks coming on as well. And potentially also having someone from the DayZ dev team. I'm just waiting on a reply from them as well. So 52 weeks off the podcast. We'll have to try and work something out. And hopefully, fingers crossed, Brimstone will be back next week as well. He said he was going to try to come back for the 1 year anniversary. So yeah, Ben was meant to be back this week, but I don't know what happened there. But hopefully we get him back next week as well. So I'll have to try and tee some stuff up as some prizes or something like that to give away next week as well, because it's a big milestone hitting 1 year of podcasts.
Congrats. It's awesome.
Yeah. Great.
It's a lot of work.
It is, yeah, a lot. But it's a passion project for me, mate. I love DayZ. I love talking to people about DayZ, and you know we got a nice bit of feedback the other day. Let me see if I can find the exact wording of it. I put it into the admin chat, I think. Where is it? From London, I got to say the DayZ podcast is really, really incredible these days. Been listening while working at Boydie, and the crew have really hit their stride. It's entertaining, informative, so natural and fluid. It's like sitting in Discord with your buddies. That to me was a really good comment, because you know that's kind of what we try to emulate here. And I hope you guys have enjoyed being guests on the show. It's been great getting your point of view, but we love that feel that it's, you know, we're just DayZ fans talking about DayZ.
I enjoyed it immensely because of that. You know, like I feel like I talk about DayZ all the time, but it's like it kind of feels like you in a vacuum, like just talking. You know,
Yeah.
and you got like chat and stuff, but like just it's cool to just talk to other fans about it. You know,
Yes.
the opinions.
Yeah.
Yes. that's why we mix it up. That's why we try to get as many different people in as possible to get different points of view on the game, and just because we don't always agree. But hey, that's the beauty of DayZ. You can play DayZ how the fuck you want. No one can tell you what is right and wrong. There's only what works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So Amish.
So basically,
oh, sorry.
this was an AA meeting for DayZ addicts, right?
Yes.
Well, no, it wasn't an AA meeting. This was a fan club.
I haven't played in like 10 minutes, dude. It's getting to me.
Oh, got some of that DayZ, man. I need some.
So Agony, where can we catch you, mate? When are you going to be streaming next?
Honestly, it's all a matter of getting a new motherboard and a CPU right now. I haven't been able to find a job because of COVID for quite a while, so
poor bugger.
it's a matter of choosing between paying rent right now and buying a CPU and a MOBO. So
I hope you get it, man. That sucks.
I do too. I mean, I can stream off of my streaming PC, but my streaming PC has a 10-year-old CPU, and I'm running a GTX 960 in there, and I can't even put my Sapphire in there because I have an RX 5700 that I could use, but it's not compatible with the BIOS on that one. So I can stream off my old PC, but it's going to be a drastic step down to go from 2 PC to 1 PC off of NVENC and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do that. It's not the best look.
Where can someone send you a bit of coin if they've got a few dollars spare, mate? Have you got a link on your Twitch profile?
I do, actually. There is a donation through Stream Elements, I believe, yes.
Post a link in my chat, mate, just in case anyone does have a $5 or a $10 or something spare that they can chuck your way.
Yeah, 1 second.
And what about yourself, Amish? When can we see you online next?
Yeah, I'm gonna be on tomorrow. Hopefully I'm gonna try to make it to A3, but I honestly don't know if I can take it. I don't know. But yeah, I'll be on tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern, and then Monday's my edit day nowadays. But yeah, try to do at least 5 streams a week, and then 1 YouTube video every Saturday. So
Your
just had,
videos
I
have
had
been
a
going
tidbits
well,
video come
mate.
out today.
Your videos have been going well.
Yeah, thanks. The YouTube algorithm is a tricksy mistress. She really just doesn't like you sometimes. But I've just been loving doing them. And like I said, the last video, I tried to make my first one after I quit my job like really special. So I just like used music from like the Kinks and Willie Nelson, just like all their stuff, just to make it really like poppy and fun. Which I won't be able to do that every week, unfortunately. But
Congrats again on that, by the way. Quitting your job and being able to pursue what you want to do as a craft, like full time, that's fucking massive, bro. So
yeah,
congrats on that.
Terrifying, but it's just I just can't believe.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't believe it, honestly. I don't know how to put it into words, but I'm psyched. Hopefully it works out and I don't end up homeless. So,
Mate, you need to do more of the guide videos. I'm just looking at your channel now. And
I
your
do.
Popular uploads. 584,000 views, mate. That's fucking insane numbers.
yeah, I gotta get back to. I want to get back to loot route guides I want to do Deer Isle, but I kind of want to wait till the map is done. I gotta get back to Namalsk loot routes, but like it's been, I was very lucky throughout COVID. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful, but like it was tough to find time for extra stuff like that, between the real job and then doing this and then keeping my wife from divorcing me. So, but yeah. It's cool. I'm looking forward to what's next, Probably Raid Shadow Legends. I think that's where my career is going.
True.
Marks, what about yourself, mate? When are you going to be streaming next?
Tomorrow. Be live tomorrow as usual. Just search Marks on YouTube is the first thing that comes up. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. And he's on YouTube, folks, so definitely check him out. Popping out some great videos as well, mate. You've been killing it there as well lately. So what's going to be your highlight segment from tonight's show, mate? Have you got any thoughts on that?
I don't know yet. I'll have to sit and have a quick think and see what I can come up with.
Awesome. So make sure you sub to his channel. He posts those out as soon as possible. He's not bound by the 24 hours like I am with Twitch, so he can do it straight away.
Thank you for that, Boydie.
No, you're welcome, mate. You're welcome. I got my little Twitch check from last month, so I had a few dollars to spare, mate. So happy to send some money your way to help you get back in the game, mate. We all know what it's like when things are playing up. I've got to do some stuff with my computer soon. I've been having issues here and there, but At the moment, it's still working fine.
Word, much appreciated, bro.
Happy to help, mate. Happy to help. And he did, like I was lucky, he posted the link there. Even if it's only $1, even if it's $5, whatever, folks. Agony could do with some love right now, and I'll try to remember to put that link in the video as well. For anyone who feels like chucking a few bucks your way, mate. There's been some really generous people in the community lately, which is fantastic to see.
Appreciate that, man.
Even if I did make fun of, did you see my tweet the other day, Amish? I know I'm a risky person to follow because I like firing people up, but someone put a thing out about a role back in ancient Rome. That was basically someone who leeches off a society and gets paid for it. Yeah.
Seen that one, yeah.
Really quickly, can I say one thing before anyone does that? If anyone does donate anything, give me your email and all that. I'm a producer and an audio engineer. I don't want free shit. So if you do donate something, I will, if you stream or anything like that, let me make you some custom alerts for like sound alerts and stuff like that. Because the whole idea of getting free stuff, I'm big on returning. So if there's anybody that needs like custom alert noises and shit like that, not just like looping something from a song that you want, like legitimate custom original stuff,
mate,
I'd much rather give you that in return.
You know what you can do? Upload some more sounds to the Stream Alerts library for Twitch. Some really good ones. I don't know whether you guys have seen them. Do you use them on your stream, Amish?
I'm gonna need to get alerts at some point because at some point I think DMCA is gonna catch up with me.
There's a really cool...
I might be okay. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, but
there's a really cool
if you have any
extension
ideas
you can get for Twitch. I've got it on my channel, and people can donate bits, and it will make a sound that if you set it up.
You're talking about the soundboards that you pay bits for. Yeah.
And people donate.
Yeah, I don't use those.
Yeah,
neither do I.
Dude,
I've got M4 alerts. They scare the shit out of me enough. I can't have like a bear going off my ear. I'll freak out.
Well, if you've got them for your alerts, you could do those same sounds. And for someone like you, mate, with the amount of people you get, you would need to make them, $20 or $30 worth for them to do it. But if you're open to the idea of people scaring you with alerts, this is another way to have a bit of fun. I've got it on my stream, and if people do it right, oh my God, they scare the absolute living bejesus out of me.
The timing people get, it's unbelievable how good they are.
Yes.
Horrible.
Yes.
Hilarious seeing people get scared over something that isn't even scary. Like I've seen people get scared over a fart noise in the middle of an intense gunfight.
There's I've been following Rhino a bit on he's been playing Scum, and he's got some good ones like I'll wait until he's in a military area, and then he's got like a door open one, and I'll play that sound, and he'll be like, there's someone fucking here. And then what I want is a more variety of noises. So you tee it up, and you spend 100 bits to do a door open, gets them a little bit on edge. Spend 100 bits to make a mech go, freeze, and they go, yeah, there is someone fucking here. So you're gradually building their suspension up, and then you spend the 400, 500 biddies, and it's an AK-47 going off in their ear, and it's for me. I want to kill a streamer with alerts. That's my goal. I'm yet to do that, but I want to kill a streamer in game with alerts, and I'm willing to pay to do that.
Premeditation, clip it.
Yes, yes.
So that way we can hold him accountable.
Good luck, mate. I'm in Australia. What are you going to fucking do to me?
I think the environment will do enough to you, bro. I've seen the spiders y'all got. We don't need to do nothing.
It's not the spiders that you need to worry about. There's really only 2 spiders in Australia that are dangerous. That's the redback and the funnel web. It's the fucking snakes, man. The snakes, the jellyfish, the fucking cassowary, a big fucking 6-foot bird that'll slice your throat open.
I can deal with a snake, man. I just don't want no fucking small dog-sized spider in my house. Like, I'm good. They need to pay rent.
Mate, the one that everyone's scared of, the bird-eating spider, it'll make you a bit crook, but it's not fatal. Unless you're like a really old person or sick person. But that said, I have a phobia of spiders. I am scared shitless of them.
Wait,
and
you have...
Yeah, I can't fucking tolerate them either.
You have spiders that eat birds.
Yeah.
I thought it was a crab. It's like a coconut crab. Is that what you guys are talking about, or am I...
No, there's a bird-eating spider and a coconut crab. Those are 2 different things, if I recall correctly.
I'm never
Jesus.
moving. I'm never
Okay.
visiting Australia.
I
Okay.
oh my fucking god! I'm looking at them on stream. Give me a second. I've literally got
This
chills.
went off topic.
I've literally got chills just opening this page up, and there's a scene that I remember. Like Steve Irwin wasn't scared of much, but even he was shaking when he had a bird-eating spider on a piece of bark.
I'm not looking at it. Don't care. Not doing it.
Oh, it looks cuddly.
It is not fucking cuddly. It is an evil-looking fucking thing, man. Evil-looking fucking thing. And yes, they do eat birds.
I gotta stomp that bitch out the moment I see it. If I have the balls enough to get within 5 feet of it.
Burn the house down.
Yes.
Just get rid of it. Nuke it.
People ask why I had guns in Texas. It was for protection against spiders, bro.
It's a good answer. I like that.
I had a mate.
Home invader, I can beat them up. Spiders, they getting shot.
I'm just turning that off. I had a mate when I was in the army and we're out bush, and the area I was stationed in had bird-eating spiders, and they do these big fucking webs. Like you knew when you hit one of their webs because it was like walking into plastic line. It was that strong, and he found one and he got a stick and he quickly whipped it around so the spider got trapped in its own web, and then he was taking it around and showing everyone. And you could just see the fangs, you could see the arms sticking through the web, and he's come up and he's held it right in front of my face. He's gone, "Boydie, look at this." And I'd literally frozen. My breathing just instantly went to panic mode, and I was like, "That's cool, man. That's cool." And then he moved on and went to someone else. And my mate who was sitting next to me, he knew of my fear of spiders. And he gone, "Boydie, that is honestly the first time I've ever seen a black man go white." I shit a fucking brick, mate. It was, oh my God.
This is the only Australian monster I want to deal with. That's it, I'm good.
But no, guys, thank you so much. I love the podcast. I love getting people like yourself on. Cheddar, thank you for gracing us with your opinion. We know you're the true star of the podcast.
He's the star of everything. I'm surprised he's not biting it. He usually hates cameras.
I got a nice video of my bird attacking a GoPro. Yeah, love him. I love birds, man. They're fucking awesome.
He's all right.
You just get to clean
Yeah,
the
thanks
chair
for
up
having
now.
us. It was fun.
It was
nice meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you too, mate. I think
You
this is the
too.
first time you and I have ever chatted. Same with you, Agony.
Locally, yeah.
Yeah, and the rule is open. If you're ever watching and we're talking about something that you've got feel you've got an urgent opinion on, we never remove our guests from the guest role. You're welcome to poke your head back in any time, and if you've got something you really want to talk about, let us know and we'll fit it in.
Cool.
Awesome, for sure.
Cheers, guys.
All the best, everyone. We are gonna now head on over and raid. Oh God, I'm having a senior moment. Dead frag.
There we go.
So all the best, everyone. Say goodbye.
Yep. Appreciate
See
it,
y'all
guys.
later.
Yeah, have a good one.
I'll catch you
Bye,
later,
guys.
fellas. Thank you so much.
Good meeting y'all.
See you later. You too.
Later.
My heart